What's the motherfucking deal? Welcome to the Den this evening. If you're not familiar with the Den is the best conversation on the internet where you should feel free to speak your mind, speak your piece, whatever it may be. We have a gentleman joining us, a fan favorite. How are we doing this evening? Who we got joining us this evening in the Den?
What's going on, everybody? This is your boy, Man Up here. I want to do my own disclaimer a little bit here. Just want to say, y'all sit back, relax, enjoy the show. If you have any opinion, feel free to type them in chat. Give a call in when he open up the line. Let's get this thing going. Let's talk about it.
So let's see what we got joining with friends of the Den. We got joining us tonight. And we're going to get into the topic of discussion. And the topic tonight is, should American laws be changed? And we're not talking about one specific law, but we're going to talk about a variety of things. And I kind of want to gauge your opinions on it. And then, like I say, you know how the people in the chat feel. And again, like I said, we're going to cross many borders, many boundaries. We're going to do some comparisons with, some other countries and how some things work out for them, and would those things work out for us here in America? So like I say, plenty to discuss, plenty to get into. But before we get into all that, let's see which friends in the Den we have joining us this evening. I see Dr. Rabbit, Ask Mel Trejo, what's the motherfucking deal? Man up holding down the chat and the stream. Debo, Kenneth, Craig Baker, what's the motherfucking deal? Baker Man, Jay Dizzle, what's the motherfucking deal? McVice, Balin. I see there go Jay Dizzle starting that plex, man. I'm just trying to chill. You already plex it. But before we get all the way into the conversation, I was telling you prior to the stream, I want to mention it before I forget it. They're remaking, or not remaking, but they're bringing back a sequel to a particular movie. An old school, well, I won't say old school, but because I don't want to call myself too old, but from my youth. They are making a I Got the Hook Up Part 2. And the thing about it is, of course, the production actually looks much better than the first one, and that's interesting. It actually looks like it might be a little entertaining. They have a decent looking cast, it seems like, on it, and I don't know, man. It's Master P. You know how Master P acting is, so we will see ultimately how it comes out. But I think normally I would be like, fuck that, but it actually seems like it might be a worthwhile venture. It actually looks like it might be slightly decent. I ain't want to say I ain't want to start no plex with you, Jay Dizzle. You see what happened. Jaja Air Shaolin, what's the motherfucking deal? Again though, so talking about laws in America, and I think there's a lot of things to discuss, and we can talk about some of the harsher things. We can talk about some of the maybe lighter sentences. Let's start off with sex offenders. I don't know why that, because I got a couple of angles that I want to kind of spin off of that. Start off with sex offenders. We hear a lot of different things with sex offenders. We talked about it here often. Talk about teachers. They are pedophiles that, when they get caught up in these cases, they are sex offenders also. A lot of times, though, some of these people don't have to deal with that label. Sometimes they get lighter sentences, things like that. But not even just them, but sex offenders as a whole. Do you think that if you get labeled as a sex offender, should it be a permanent lifetime deal, regardless of the type? If you're talking about underage, statutory, pedophilia type situation, or if you're just talking about sexual harassment, rape, or whatever, categories that go under that. I mean, across the board, do you feel like a sex offender should be a permanent label that's given to you for the rest of your life? Because you got to realize these people have to let their neighbors know when they move into new neighborhoods. They can only live so far from certain schools, and a lot of other little things about it. I want to know your thoughts on that. I want to know the thoughts of the people in the chat. And again, like I said, we're going to discuss a variety of things, but we're going to start there. We're going to start with something that could be, hit the hydrox on my chair, something that could be discussed, and we'll get into it.
Well, I think that when you come to a sex offender, now let me clarify something real quick. Now, I must say, if it can be proven without a shadow of a doubt, yes, you should be labeled that for the rest of your life, because that's a horrible crime. Now, the reason why I'm phrasing like that is because we all heard those sayings, not those sayings, excuse me, those certain situations, those stories to where people would be labeled that, but it would be the truth. That's why I say without a shadow of a doubt that, yes. Now, when it comes to like certain areas, I know you said just as a whole. But when it comes to certain areas, I think that the level of punishment should be different. My personal opinion, when you're harming kids, I don't care what nobody say, you should get life or even worse. Even the elderly, things like that. People that have a hard time, protecting themselves.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Now, when you, I don't know, when you consider yourself being a rapist or whatever, yeah, you should get the maximum punishment as well too. But I just say not as much as if you harming someone that have a hard time defending themselves. Now, let me get back to what I'm saying about if it can be proven without a shadow of a doubt. I cannot think of that man's name right now, but he spent 6 years in jail. When he got out, he went to the NFL and played for the Atlanta Falcons. I forgot his name.
Are you talking about the Brian Banks situation where he got falsely accused? They gave that woman, $2 million. She blew all the money. He basically caught her saying that it didn't happen, but she was already broke by then because, of course, she was. And they felt sorry for him and ended up giving him a tryout. Now, I don't know if he ended up making it, but I know they let him work with the program a little bit. I don't know how long, if he's still there or not, but I remember that situation. But what were you saying about that?
Yeah, he was. He didn't make the team, but he stayed in the front office for a few years. Now, if he's still there, I don't know, but he stayed on with the team for a while because I forgot the owner's name, but it gave him a shot, at least gave him a chance. You know what I'm saying, to try to fulfill his dream because it was basically taken away from him. And it's one guy that it happened to, a former Houston Texan that happened to as well too. When he was in college, it was supposed to be a consensual thing, and because she found out that he wasn't going to make her his woman, she wanted to holler rape. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say, and then if I'm not mistaken, that happened to Dwight Howard too as well before. But that's why I say if it can be proved without shadow of doubt, not just because someone's claiming it. It all depends on situations at hand, because there are different levels to it, of course. But as a whole, yes, the laws, I wouldn't say need to be changed. I say tweaked it just a little bit, wording here and there a little bit. But I think the way they go about that part right there needs to be changed. Don't take somebody's word for it just because they said it, because we all know things like that is not really true. And then go from there. Do a lot of testing, because like you said before in the last stream we did, it's come to a point where guys are basically video recording it just to have proof. Like you said, you made fun of it. It was funny when you talking about Dave Chappelle with the sex contract. You know what I'm saying? Things like, because it's getting to a point where that's finally great to happen. So that's my take on that one.
Okay. And now I agree. Talk about rape, talk about those who saved. That is funny. But I agree, though. False rape accusations, and I think in every single instance, and this is what the problem is, I think in every instance of a false rape accusation, when it's discovered that it was a falsehood, that it was a lie, they should be given double the time. I feel like, and again, it could be the man in me saying, whatever else it may be, but they should be given at least an equal amount of time as those who they are accusing. Because if, there's a range in whatever sentence, then, you should see at least 5 years. Because if you're willing to play with someone else's life in any kind of dangerous fashion like that, I definitely think that you should be charged, and it shouldn't be no probation. It shouldn't be anything like that, because if you're on probation, you can go out and still make that same accusation again to somebody. You can still do those things. So I think that you should have to sit down for a little while before considering playing with somebody's life. And I think that what that would do is it would kind of clean up, because there's a lot of falsity out there, a lot of women who feel like they got their hearts broken or didn't get what they wanted out of the situation, or trying to run a scam or something like that, and they'll just holler rape just because, and that'll separate that from the women who actually had a serious problem, a serious encounter, a situation that happened that risked their lives and their livelihood. So that's my thing is that I think that it would help clean up some of that mess, because a person wouldn't take that risk to come out and accuse somebody, knowing that there are consequences for doing that. Because you have so many of them who know that, well, if I falsely accuse him, his credibility, He's probably gonna lose his job. He's probably gonna lose, his esteem in the community if he has any, or whatever else it may be. Even if he isn't proven to be a rapist, people are going to think, and this is the crazy thing about America, is America sells sex to you all day, but when a person finds out you're actually having sex, you're a bad guy or a bad woman. That's the crazy shit about it. That person's having sex. Now, if you're doing it extramarital, if you have a commitment to somebody, you skirting around that, then shame on you. Then yeah, then you need to be, what you are for that. So my thing is, you say, if a woman falsely accused me, it's a hockey match. Man, hey, trust me, I told y'all about the situation there, but again, proof was in the pudding. I wasn't in the pudding, but the proof was in the pudding. So, again, so what I say is that I do believe that is another thing. So let's kind of move it on. We talk about that. Rape accusations, sexual harassment, sexual claims of that nature should be deemed a particular kind of way. Now I have another question though. Now I'm gonna play devil's advocate, because it's not something that I necessarily agree with, but I'm a person that tries to see things from both sides of the coin. Certain places have certain ages of consent. Okay, and now in this day and age, people are saying that the age of consent should be lowered. People are saying that kids know more now. They're more able to make the decisions that they make. You think about way back in the past. I think about my grandparents. They got married very young. They were probably encouraged to do so, but I'm sure that I know at least a couple of generations back that, throughout the family got married very young, probably in their early teens, if I'm not mistaken. And my grandpa was older, so that's why I say, hey, R. Kelly probably did that shit. I ain't gonna say he ain't do that shit, but I'm not gonna play the double standard and not say, hey, a few decades ago, it was almost acceptable because a lot of people were doing that. Do you think that's a thing? Do you think that the age of consent should be lowered, or is it okay where it is, or should parents have the ability to determine for their own kids? Because that's another thing that I've been seeing get put out there, that parents should be able to determine when their child is able to consent. So what do you think about something like that?
Well, to be honest with you, I think because they have that Romeo Juliet law in a whole lot of states. I don't know about every state, and I know Texas have it. A lot of states have that. And I really do think that, it should be when you're an adult. You know what I'm saying? Because they have it to where it's okay if the girl is 14 and the boy can't be no more than 3 years older than them, somewhere around there. I forget exactly the wording. But I think that it should be when you're an adult. And I'm not talking about when you turn 18 and society thinks you're an adult. No, when you are an adult. You know what I'm saying? Because that's an adult act, and you can have the adult situations and decisions after that, if you know what I mean. So when you're doing things like that, then I think when it comes, let me go ahead and ask you a question about the parents. Do I think the parents should be involved in that? To a certain extent, and what I mean by that is trying to protect the child, trying to educate them, trying to, let them know certain situations, how, things could possibly be both good and bad. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. Don't just show them all the bad stuff, try to scare them. No, because that ain't going to do anything. Let them know, look, this is an adult thing that you're doing. When you're doing this here, this and that could happen. And if A happened, then you had to go through all this situation. If B happened, you got to go through all that situation. So it can, it can go both ways. But then also too, sometimes if C happened, you got to go through all that situation. So, so that's why I say, yeah, the adult should be, involved in it. Should they consent to it? No. That's just my personal opinion. I know other people have theirs, but I don't think it should not be happening until you, able to pay your own light bill, pay your own mortgage, your own rent, whatever your case is, because once you make that decision, I've seen too many people when I was in school graduate from Phyllis Wheatley High School in Fifth Ward, and I've seen girls finna get ready to graduate high school, pregnant with their third child. Now, what are you saying about that? Is the parents are involved? Mm, that's up for debate. If you think they are, but uh, that's a dumb decision when you sitting there keep doing the same thing over and over and over. You're not learning from your mistakes. So my personal opinion, I don't think that person was informed or was not even talked to or educated about the things that they're doing or could possibly do.
I agree, and I think that's key too, because I think a lot of that. We have a lot of these in school, especially they teach about abstinence and things like that. And I know that's what we all ideally want to preach, but I think that, it should be explained what to happen, what to do if you do decide to make these decisions, because we all know hormones are a motherfucker. And abstinence is not going to happen. I do believe that's kind of where the parents come in. And I would agree, man. I think that it should be a set age. I think nationally across the board should be a set age, because you have certain states, I want to say it's Iowa or Montana, one of them crazy ass states got like 14. Then you have other states that are 18, 17, 16. I think Texas is 17. You got varying numbers across the board. I think that there should be a national age of consent, and it should be 18. Now, speaking about ages of consent, why is it that you're able to consent your life to the government at the age of 18, but you're not allowed to drink alcohol at the age of 18? Is that something that you think should be adjusted? Because in other countries, I've heard people say if you can walk up to the bar and see over the bar, they'll serve you alcohol. They don't. It's not a big deal. But here, and again, it's not as they say it is. But there's somehow, some way, all these underage girls are getting in the club and they're getting drunk and everything else. So we know that they're not strictly following the laws. But do you think that should be something that should be changed, that at the age of 18, if you're allowed to go and serve your country, that you should at least be served alcohol? Do you think that that's the thing?
Well, I put it like this: it kind of ties into this here, because I've thought about this plenty of times before, how that law is kind of contradictory. You can go into the military at 18. Of course, you're handed a gun. Probably not right away. I don't know exactly how it works, but you're handed a gun to use. But if you wasn't in the military, you can't buy a gun till you 25, 23, somewhere around there. Kind of contradictory, if you ask me. So, but when it comes to talking about serving alcohol, I think that's a loosely term. And let me explain exactly what I'm saying. Because some people, it depends on how some people act. Because some people, lay back and chill when they drunk, don't do anything crazy. Some people fall asleep. Then you got some people that get outraged and let all their anger out and start doing crazy nonsense. And because when you're in the military, you see a lot of things, do a lot of things that can mess with your mind. And sometimes alcohol will trigger those that, make things worse for you. So that's the reason why I'm saying that's kind of up in the air for me and my decision. My thoughts on that one. Because to me, that all depends on the person. Now, do I think that they shouldn't? I don't know. I don't know. But then also, too, I don't think you should be able to go into the military when you're 18. Because you're still young, couldn't go ahead and make dumb decisions, dumb mistakes, things like that. Be doing crazy nonsense because you're still young. You know what I'm saying? I think, give you a few years out of high school. You know what I'm saying? Before you're able to go into the military. That's just my personal opinion. Because when you go in the military, you automatically step into adulthood. Automatically. You know what I'm saying? So when you do go, you're able to do so many things that you're not able to do to enjoy yourself leading up to adulthood, if that makes sense, when I'm trying to get there.
Okay. All right. Interesting. That's a very good point there too, Charlene. I mean, we all about equal rights and everything now, but you notice, no woman is fighting for the rights to be drafted. No, what is it when you turn 18, they make you sign up for the selective service? You don't see any women fighting for that right. I want to be able to sign up for the selective. I remember the teachers used to be trying to make us sign up for class. Boys, have you signed up for the? Nah, I ain't signed up for that shit. I signed up for that shit already. I used to just say that shit to make my damn teachers mad though, because she was always trying to push that shit. Nah, I ain't signed up for that shit. Fuck that shit. I ain't signing that shit. But again, like I say, it is what it is. So I agree with you though. Now I don't know. Like I said, I don't necessarily have a problem with, people going to the military at 18. And the reason why I say that is because you have some people who are just in situations that are fucked, and the only way for them to advance and maybe get out and just get away again, maybe it's the travel, maybe it's the discipline, maybe it's just getting out of the neighborhood in which they grew up in or whatever else it may be. Maybe for them to go to the military. Maybe college might not be an option. You got a lot of motherfuckers, they get out of school, they don't know what to do. They may not be getting a degree. And so, the only option is to go work at Mickey D's or get a little rinky-dink job or hang out on the corner. And they might, well, fuck it, I'm grown now. My parents going to kick me out, or they might go choose a bad decision and start fucking off selling dope or whatever else it may be. So I think having that option available for them at the age of 18, not saying that I would have ever taken it, or at the mind state that I had at that time, I definitely wouldn't have, but who knows now, looking at certain things differently. But, I think having that opportunity to be able to do that, if that's what you choose to do, I'm okay with that as far as them being 18. So now I saw somebody mention something else earlier that I want to discuss, and then we'll about 7 more minutes here. We'll open up the Denline in about 7 minutes. So I want to talk about prostitution. Prostitution is something I find interesting. Certain countries allow prostitution in specified areas. The women, they're licensed, they're inspected, if you will. I say Vegas, it's allowed, it's legal in Vegas, or certain parts of certain counties of Vegas. I'm not sure exactly how that works. And again, I think that, if a person can sell, not sell, but if they can offer a massage service, if they can offer some other type of service where, they're using their body parts basically to alleviate pain or whatever else it may be, why isn't prostitution necessarily legalized? Because, it's almost similar, just working with different body parts. What are your thoughts on prostitution and it being legalized? Do you agree or disagree?
Well, I'm going to put it like that. The reason why it's not legalized is because the government can't really tax it. You know what I'm saying? They can't get their hands on it. That's why it's illegal. A lot of people don't even realize this, but nobody really enforces it. But a lot of people don't even know this. If you have a yard sale, that's illegal because the government can't tax it. You know what I'm saying? So that's basically why that is. That's why selling drugs is so illegal. Excuse me. All that good stuff. Because, government can't say, the government can't say, you know what, I'm going to take a certain percentage of it, because they don't know what percentage, to take, or if they can take any at all. Cause just like a lot of these state fairs now having to use credit cards to make their money, because they can track credit card payments, but they can't track cash payment. Now, do I think it should be legalized? That's a good one. I don't really know on that one, because who are you really harming? You know what I'm saying? Think about it. Yeah, I know there's a potential you can catch a sexual transmitted disease, but that's your decision if you go and do that, because you already know the child say swipe a crack up her ass crack. Okay.
Tip drill. I need a tip drill.
But it's like, who are you hurting? You know what I'm saying? My personal opinion. Who are you really hurting by, having a sexual act? Like I said, you can catch some kind of sexual transmitted disease. Yeah, you can. But you know the risk of it. Y'all are going off today, I see.
The funny thing about that is a thing, though. That's the thing. I'm telling y'all, sometimes when you get lost in the deep, darkest recesses of Twitter, you will find some very interesting things. Again, Snapchat and Twitter are surviving because of the hoes. I'm telling you, the hoes are keeping that shit alive. Fucking the gram too, for a little bit. Shit, if I wasn't mistaken, the gram was the hoes keeping the gram alive. They just keeping their clothes on that shit. But premium Snapchats and, like you say, Cash Apps and Twitters and other, what's the word? Booking fees. It ain't. They don't call it prostitution. They call it modeling and booking. So again, it's a crazy situation. So basically, like you say, though, it's already happening. It is, but it's just nobody's making it official. And that's just basically the difference between prostitution being legalized or not. What'd you say?
But see, the way I'm looking at it is just here. You know, when you talking about legalizing prostitution, okay, who are you really hurting? Think about that. Who are you really hurting?
The wives that ain't doing what they supposed to be doing at home, they're the only ones that's gonna be mad about it. That's really what it is. These politicians, they wives, they be like, "Well, what you want to legalize it for? What's really going on?" That's why it ain't legalized. So you got to get more single politicians in there, and they'll get it in action. But see, you got all these married politicians, they doing it for the image, and they wife talking about, well, what you want to legalize prostitution for? You ain't happy at home, and then bow. That's why it ain't getting done.
Wow, he would have well now.
I'm telling you, that's what it is.
But for real though, it's like, because to me, I'm looking at it like this here. Mm-hmm. You basically doing it at home in your bedroom. You know what I'm saying? Think about that. Mm-hmm. So if you're making some money, you're not really hurting nobody, but the government is just pissed because they can't put their hands in your money. That's basically what they're saying. You know what I'm saying? That's why, like I said, that's why selling drugs is so illegal. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because if I go and smoke some dope right now, who am I hurting? Myself, my family too, of course. You know, but I'm not hurting nobody in the world. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing this to myself and my family right here. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say there's the only reason why it's bad because the government can't get their hands on it. Yeah. Now, do I think it should be legalized? You know what? It's already legalized in a lot of areas. You know what I'm saying? You know, just like got the Bunny Ranch in Vegas. It's not in Vegas. It's right outside of Vegas. You know, in a rural area. That's why, you know, it's in a rural area. It's kind of like with casinos. A lot of these casinos are in rural areas because there's nobody there. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. They don't really have crazy laws out there like that. And then, like in other countries, you know, you got the red light district where it's completely legal in the city. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of those things to where, you know, it's completely up to, you know, the people. And to me personally, wouldn't bother me. You know, if it was legalized, it's happening already. You know, because I saw a report that said in Houston last year, 2017, excuse me, that they made off of 290 and the Beltway, they made like 600 arrests of prostitution in the whole 2017. You know, and then guess what? When them ladies get out, they doing it over and over again. So it's like we sitting here spending our tax dollars to put them in prison, but they finna gotta go do the same thing again. Mm-hmm. Like I said, in that aspect, who are you hurting? Who are they hurting? Nobody but themselves. They putting themselves out there like that. You know?
And obviously somebody is engaging in the behavior. What is they talking about? What was it? Bissonnette? It's supposed to be the stroll. They was talking about Bissonnette is one of the most in the nation. Like they talking about nationwide. You would never. You would think, okay, well, yeah, you know what's taking in the city, but in the nation, it's one of the most popular strolls in the nation. And motherfuckers obviously is with the shit. But again, I think that when I say legalization is, you know, get some type of standard practice going on that, you know, that you inspected and, you know, you make sure these women are getting tested so they're not spreading the disease and everything else like that. That would be my only main concern. I think everything else is between two consenting adults because shit, you know, people want to try to make it seem like it's a moral thing, but shit, if you going out on dates, if you going to the movies, you doing all these other things to entertain to hopes of getting some pussy or whatever it may be. I saw somebody talk about traders earlier, so we go leave it at that. But why not just hand them the cash directly? Quit wasting the time, because now you got to waste time and money in hopes of, and you're not guaranteed to get what you want out of the deal. So again, you say, who is it hurting? And I saw somebody say, who is it hurting? It was saying that the women are getting hurt. And again, I guess I don't know. If you're a single man and you're doing what you do, hey, you know, it is what it is. I think, though, if you are a married man and, you know, or you are occupied and you kind of dipping and dabbing, putting your dipstick all over the place, then, you know, you got to be careful. You got to be careful with that type of behavior.
Well, see, this is one thing that I'm saying, like I agree with you. If it's between two consensual adults, you know, doing their thing, you know, like you just said, it's basically what you're doing at home, two consensual adults. And like you just said, men spend money anyway, and they try to take a woman out to dinner thinking they finna get, you know, something great to happen. Whether it happens or not, you know, that's another topic. But that's what, you know, a lot of men think. and they basically spending the money anyway. And like you just said, you might as well just cut to the chase. What's up? Here you go. You know what I'm saying? Might as well cut to the chase if that's what the dude is out for. Might as well cut to the chase. I saw somebody else say porn is prostitution. Yeah, it is, but the only reason why that's not illegal because the government gets their hands in that money. That's the only reason why. That's the only reason why that's so illegal.
Remember, Magic Johnson was the only nigga who called AIDS. God damn. It seemed like that for a while till Charlie Sheen fucked it up. He started tripping with whatever he was doing, and we ain't even gonna get into that. But here's the deal: give me just a second, and we're gonna open up the Denline so we can talk to y'all, take some calls, all that good stuff. Give me un segundo, por favor, and we gonna have some good conversation. I want to know what y'all thinking, and we still got some other things to discuss also. Say pimping ain't dead, it just moves to it. I mean, it basically is what it is. And the thing is now that it's more accessible, not just because, before it was on the internet, it was more of a California thing. That was kind of where your porn industry was. Now that it's available to everybody, everybody's doing it. So why do you think that that is the case? Let me drop the line on y'all. Make sure y'all got the
get the new number out there.
Yeah, let me drop the new number on y'all real quick. Like, let me make sure I got that.
A few seconds here.
Yeah, I don't know where I put it at. Let me see. Hold on. Which one is this? Let me make sure it's the right one. Yeah, okay, here we go. All right. So that is the new Den number. If y'all want to call in and okay, I missed a couple of things. Okay. Yeah, like I said, if y'all want to call in, spill your thoughts in the den. Ain't no salt spilling. I don't know what you call it. What do we call it now? Okay, that's what that is. Make sure I got everything because a whole different situation over here. All right. So anyway, like I was saying, just looking at some things like that and looking at, what the hell is y'all talking about? If you want to be free, don't get married. Use baby wipes. What are you talking about, Dr. Reverend? Oh, yeah, definitely use baby wipes if you gotta handle that kind of business. That's stay so fresh, so clean. Man, but that's what I say. It's when we make a conscious decision to peddle porn, ain't nobody getting hurt. Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. Somebody pocketbooks getting hurt because you see how these motherfuckers be on some other shit. But it is what it is. People should try weed. If you don't like it, it's on you. It's chopped to be some crazy ass psychedelic. Yeah, I have no problem with the reefer. Let's talk about that though. Legalizing drugs. Because certain drugs are considered, Schedule 1 and Schedule 2. You get hold on real quick. Let's take this call. Make sure we got the what's the motherfucking deal? We got calling into the den this evening.
Brother Shaolin, fantastic.
Shaolin, what's the motherfucking deal, man? Always good to hear from you. What would you like to drop in the den tonight?
Yeah, everything good, man. How you doing, brother?
No, pretty good, man. I can't complain. Did it hang up? Is it on me?
Oh.
I don't know. I think it hung up.
Like I heard somebody else calling in that it hung up.
Yeah, no, I think it just I think it just cut out. So if you want to call back in, you can call back in. I think it just tapped out. Let me make sure I got everything appropriate here. But yeah, if you want to call back in, Shaolin, I know Shaolin always has some very interesting perspectives. We'd love to hear from you. But we're talking about weed, like I say, or drugs, period. Should drugs be legal? Hold on. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling into the den this evening?
That's Brother Shaolin, fantastic.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you good. All right. What would you like to drop into the den this evening?
Yeah, it's kind of low, but can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Let me see if I can turn this up a little bit.
Okay. I was just calling in, y'all were talking about prostitution. And, should it be legalized? And you know what? By the way, let me say this. I agree a lot with your guest on the show. Everything he says about the reason it's not being legalized is because can't tax it. But I don't see any reason why prostitution just shouldn't be legalized. Probably not wide open, but definitely in certain areas it should be. It should be. Why not?
I agree. What do you think?
Hello?
Yeah. What do you think it would take for, you know, maybe the general consensus to change their minds on prostitution, or for the laws to get changed on prostitution? What do you think it would
well, take? But personally, I believe it's just a question of age, time. We just have too many people that's in power now that are in their 70s and 60s and 50s, and well, not 50s, but 60s. I think as time goes on, I mean, we're seeing that, you know, weed is being legalized, things like that, because people that were in their 70s, they smoke weed. People that went to Vietnam, things like that. I think it would eventually happen. Maybe in my lifetime, maybe not. I don't know, but I think eventually it will happen. And another problem is you would have to get past the feminist lobby. The reason that you know, prostitution is illegal is because, you know, marriage, in my opinion, and I'm not trying to offend married people, but marriage is just legalized prostitution in certain ways. To me, it's high priced prostitution as far as I'm concerned. And you know, it's just, that's what it is, you know. And if a man can just say, look, I'll pay this, you know, fine ass. And then another thing too, a lot of men would discriminate, because a man is going to pay his hard-earned money. It's going to be for a chick that he deems attractive. Mm-hmm. So those are the reasons, and women will lobby hard against that, or they're going to get their ass in the gym and work out and going to be what men want to pay for. Those are the reasons. And women vote. Women have they vote more than men, and they have like 52 or 53% of the vote in this country. So those barriers will make it very, very hard.
Okay. So you don't think because I know now, you know, a lot of this SJW movement, a lot of these other kinds, because I think there's two different kinds of feminists, but that they're more with this sexual liberation and this sexual freedom and all this stuff. You don't think that might have
SJWs are not dumb as they look. Okay, because the SJWs are not dumb as they. Have you seen some of those feminists? They fat, they look crazy, they look ugly. I mean, believe me, they're not as dumb as they look. When you start talking about legalizing prostitution, just think about this. Anything that you try to do that's going to help men, that's going to liberate men, they don't want that. What the SJWs want, they want freedom for themselves. When it's time when men jump up and say, well, you know, I want to be free too, they want men to live in 1957. Believe me on this one. They want men to live in they want men to be chivalrous. They want men to still do all that stuff while they run around here doing all the things that they want to do. Trust me on this one. That's going to be a hard fight. That's what will probably drag this on for another 20, 30, 40 years. The only thing is SJWs, believe me, SJWs don't want this as much as they talk about sexual liberation. All they're saying is, I want to be able to fuck who I want to fuck, but I want the responsible, chivalrous man to pay for it. That's what they're saying.
Okay. And I agree with you on that, because you ain't lying, man. I done seen some of them, boy, they rough than a motherfucker. And I might be upset if I look like them too, goddamn shit, because they'd be out there looking rough, man. But that's a bet, man.
All right, brother.
I appreciate
that's all
I
want to say. I ain't going to hold y'all out up too long.
All right, man. I appreciate the call.
All right.
Now, that made me think of something, and something that's been going on. This is completely off track of everything we're talking about, but it's something I did want to discuss in the den tonight. I want to know how you feel. We're talking about SJW. We're talking about this, what do they call it, virtue signaling and things of this nature. How do you feel about the Terry Crews situation? And if you're not familiar, I'll kind of let you know what's going on, but I want to know your thoughts on that. Have you heard what has kind of commenced between him and D.L. Hughley?
Now, I didn't hear nothing about D.L. Hughley, but I heard, he talking about with that. He's been sexually assaulted and stuff like that. What happened with D.L. Hughley?
Okay, well, basically, Terry Crews, man, has used his the sexual assault on him has turned this into a campaign against the black man, because black men ain't coming out to support him in his problem and his situation. And basically DL said something, along the lines of, hey, had that been me, I probably would have slapped the shit out of old buddy or whatever else it was. And then basically Terry Crews, I guess he saw it. He's like, oh, you're somebody I've always admired, yada, yada, yada. So I guess since we're talking about handling toxic masculinity, I should just slap the shit out of you. Is that how I'm supposed to handle it? And, DL came out today and kind of explained himself. But I find it funny, the double standard, that you're willing to say something like that, or, one, you're willing to turn your situation into an attack on men when you need to be pointing at the other, because it wasn't a black man that did it to you. You know what I'm saying? It was those Hollywood types that did it to you. But you want to blame it on black men and toxic masculinity because they're not support. Because if a motherfucker don't support you, then guess what? They're not going to support you. And that's just it. So maybe they don't support your cause. So that's why you're not getting the support you're thinking that you should get. You thinking it's going to be one of them Me Too situations. Nah, it's just you. It ain't Me Too. It's just you. Hold on, we're going to take this call real quick and then we're going to get back to that. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling in on the Denline this evening?
It's Edmund.
Edmund. How are you doing this evening, Edmund? What would you like to drop at the Den tonight?
So I had something that should be changed or something that should be amended. Would have to be immigration laws.
Okay. What would you change about the immigration laws?
What was that?
Excuse me. I said, what would you change about the immigration laws? Hello, can you hear me there?
Okay. And at the end of the day, we have so many quote unquote illegal aliens that, most of these people are using the system, the welfare system, the society we live in, and it's costing us, the taxpayers, a lot of money. I saw a report that said I think it cost the American taxpayer $160 million per year, just because we can't find a way to have a more efficient immigration system. And that's why there's so much turmoil with the wall and, with Trump and who's paying it and all this stuff. But I think it dives deeper into, how do we manage to allow people in while still being able to control who goes in and who comes out. Like those are just my thoughts.
Okay. Now, are you saying this because you were accused of being an immigrant, so the chick wouldn't date you? So is that why you're just trying to block everybody out? Is that what this is really all about, man? Let's get to the root of the problem here. I mean, let's just peel back the layers of the onion. Why don't we? Nah, I'm fucking with you. But that's a bet. I definitely can. Like I say, I have differing opinions on the immigration thing. I think it's a very complex issue. But I think that some things do need to be fixed, because you can't just let everyone in. But I think that you have to find like you said, a more efficient way of determining, who is quality and who is here to cause trouble. And again, the people gonna cause trouble, they gonna get here one way or another, because if you determine to do something, you're gonna figure it out one way or another. But I appreciate the call there, man.
Yeah, I just wanted to finish off by saying that, I don't want to be looked as a racist, quote unquote, but if you look at people that can't, just cross the border, people that have to wait to get that pass, to get that green card, like it doesn't seem fair that someone in Syria can't go and get a status of refugee, while some people in Central America migrate through and just get in and take advantage. Not everyone does that. There's a lot of people that come here and that work hard, but there has to be an efficient way of tracking who comes in and who comes out, because if we're so tight in security when it comes to the Middle East, how come we can't do the same during the border in Mexico and Central America? So that's my logic. So I'll hang up.
All right. I appreciate the racist call, Ed, man. We'll talk about it in just a minute. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling into the den this evening? Okay, they hung up. I was trying to get to the next call. No, I'm just fucking with you, man. I don't necessarily think you're racist. Like I said, everybody's entitled to their own opinion.
Oh man!
I see somebody was trying to call in, and I was trying to get back with you. But jumping back to the thing, and then we'll get back to the immigration and then the laws on that. But yeah, the Terry Crews thing. And so basically, he's just trying to. And again, yeah, I guess because the black women are co-signing, what he did. Oh, well, you were so brave by not, attacking him because you'd have been in jail and and all this and. But then they're encouraging him to go whoop the L. Hughley ass. So what is that really about? So what are you really standing for? What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling into the den this evening?
What up, though? It's Jay Dizzle.
Jay motherfucking Dizzle, the professor on the line tonight. What's the motherfucking deal? What you want to drop in the den tonight?
First of all, Ed, man, and Josh, y'all motherfuckers talk like y'all need a shot of yak. You niggas need to get some excitement in your life for some shit. God damn, Josh, you the only monotone nigga I have ever heard in my whole fucking life. I didn't know they made niggas like you, first of all. Second of all, this Ted Cruz nigga, come on, man. Get the fuck out of here. How you gonna be some big cock diesel ass nigga and let another nigga touch your dick and you don't do shit about it, talking about I was thinking about my acting career. Nigga, fuck my acting career. You gonna have to remove my foot out your ass. What the fuck you lift all the weights for, nigga? If you can't even fight and fucking defend yourself over, man, come on, bro. That shit is so goddamn trash. It pissed me the fuck off. Like, DL didn't go off on that nigga hard enough, in my opinion. You sitting up here like you done been raped or something. Nigga, ain't nobody fucking, get your ass off my motherfucking TV screen whining about a motherfucker touch you in your genitalia, and you just sat up there and let the nigga do something. And then the nigga say something about you letting the nigga do something and not doing nothing, and you threaten to do him something. Why you ain't do the other motherfucker nothing?
Exactly.
Get your big stout ass up out my face. Oh, bro. That nigga, I do not like niggas like that, bro. Hell no. You can talk all that shit online, but in real life, you ain't about that action. When you up here saying that you ain't about that action, so who the fuck is gonna believe you, little soft ass bitch ass nigga? Fuck out of here with that shit. Now, as far as some of these other topics you was talking about, I think all drugs ought to be legal. Just point blank period, everything. I'm talking about meth, crack, all that shit. So let the motherfucking users use that shit till they kill themselves, kill them motherfuckers off. There's less motherfuckers we got to deal with. That's just how I feel about that shit. If you want to kill yourself by smoking crack, smoke all the crack you want to, nigga, but you're going to have to pay for it. And you can just kill yourself off. You one less motherfucker we have to worry about trying to spray shit on my motherfucking windshield when I stopped at a stoplight. So you get your ass on somewhere with that bullshit. I don't give a shit. I got motherfucking crackheads in my family. Them motherfuckers could die too. I don't give a fuck. If you want to kill yourself over some stupid ass reason, I don't think nobody should stop you. As long as you ain't killing nobody but you ain't hurting nobody but you, get the fuck on. Yeah, your family gonna miss you, but fuck it, you already killing yourself slow. Might as well just go and get the shit over with. Stop fucking around with it. As far as the child molesters and shit, to me, I just think when they, and I'm probably wrong, but I don't give a fuck. When the motherfuckers on trial, they ought to be sitting in their electric chair. And as soon as the motherfuckers find them guilty, you throw the motherfucking switch right there in the motherfucking courtroom. That's how I feel about that shit. I ain't got no sympathy, no mercy, but no kind of shit like that. And like Man Up said, if it's children or if it's old people, yeah, straight up chair. Right there in the, but if it's like a teenager or something, I don't condone that either, but I done read about so many situations where the person didn't look like they was a teenager. Like this one situation specifically fucked me up. The girl went to the club, right? Her mama knew she was going out to the club. Helped the girl dress up and everything. So she called her dude, told the dude that she was 19 and everything. So he was dating this motherfucker. She brought him home to meet her mama and everything. Okay, so he finally smashed the chick. Then she go home and tell her mama about it. So her mama tried to blackmail the dude. When the dude didn't want to pay, she threatened to go. She went to the police. She told them about it. So then the dude finally decided to pay. So the mama went back up there, tried to clear everything up. But the DA said, nope. Now that we know about it, we gonna run with it. So not only did he lose his motherfucking bread, this nigga went to prison for it any motherfucking way. The girl and her mama set him up. Had a fake ID and all that, bro. And her mama co-signed the shit. So if you go home with a chick, and her mama telling you that what all the information you got is true, come on, bro. What the fuck you supposed to do? Like, seriously, what are you supposed to do? So, situations like that, I kind of have to leave a little gray area as far as how old the person is. But, man, come on, bro.
Man, in a situation like that, but that's a good point, kind of something we had mentioned earlier. So what should happen to a person like that? If it was found out that, there was a false accusation or that it was a setup like that, shouldn't those people be culpable too? I mean, what should happen with people like that?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. What they ought to do, they ought to have a certain prison for female lifers. And you ought to go to jail with them motherfuckers. They got to spend at least a mandatory 10-year sentence with them cat-licking ass bitches. So you gonna get your pussy ate whether you want to for 10 motherfucking years. So I want you to think about that shit. Either you get fucked by this nigga that you letting fuck anyway, or you gonna get fucked by this bitch. Who go, you know what I'm saying? That's your fucking choice. I think it ought to be a 10-year minimum. And I guarantee you, them hoes will stop doing that shit because from what I understand, because I got a few family members that work in the prison, they say the women's prison is way worse than the men's, bro.
Yep.
Like that.
Yep.
And I was surprised when I heard that. He said, man, them hoes is something else.
Shit.
He said they on some other shit. He said you thought the booty warrior was a nigga. He said you ain't seen some of these dyking assholes in these fucking women's prison, bro. So I'm like, hey, you get at least 10 years to go up in there with them, and that's on you. And I think any other motherfucker that was complicit in the shit, if your homegirl co-signed it, that bitch got to roll with you.
Mm-hmm.
Straight like that. That's just how I feel about it. If your mama co-signed it, that bitch got to go too. You know what I'm saying? If your daddy was around, then he get to go over there with the booty warrior. Go and handle your business, bro. Straight like that. Shit. I ain't got no mercy on people doing dumb ass shit. People who try to pull scandalous ass shit, that shit ain't cool, bro. If you got a daughter, you ain't got no reason pimping her out for no motherfucking men and trying to blackmail them anyway. That's some hoe ass shit. But if you straight up rape a bitch, you should die. Just point blank period. I'm sorry. I don't see no other way around it. That's unfucking givable. There's too much pussy out here for you to have to take some. Get your ass a job, make you some bread, and go pay a bitch to give you some pussy. There's other ways around it. If that ain't good enough, you can become a fucking porn star. Your whole job is getting pussy all day long. You know what I'm saying? There ain't no excuse for raping no chick, bro. It's just not. It's really not. Because there's one chick that you think is just the baddest chick ever. Trust me. There's another 1,000 bitches that you gonna see and be like, damn, well, she look better than her. You just ain't found it yet, bro. So you just gotta be patient and control your motherfucking self. Stop acting like you ain't got no kind of self-control, bro. Ask man up if he got any questions for me or if he, how he feel about anything I said.
He look like he got something he want to say there, man. What you want to throw in the mix there, man? Up.
He cracking me up, man. He got a point though. He's right. But I want to ask him. He was talking about how some people are playing around with it. What happened with, I can't think of his name right now, but he was a linebacker for the New York Giants.
Oh, you talking about LT? Was it
LT?
LT. And his situation, because he was playing with the prostitute, and they told him that she was a certain age. They told her she was 19 or something, but she was like 15, 16. Yeah, what about a situation like that?
Okay, I couldn't hear him. Say that. Tell me what he said.
Remember a few years back when LT got caught up with the young underage prostitute, he thought that they were sending him a legit age chick, and he got caught up, but she was young, and so he ended up getting, I forgot what he got for it. I think they didn't get some probation for it or something. I don't know if he got jail time for it or not. But she was like, I guess she was like 15 or 16, but they was telling him that she was 19. She was getting pimped and everything. But the dude was sending him to Lawrence Taylor, and he was fucking with her, but she was underage. But he had no idea because they set him up for the okie doke, basically, kind of like he was talking about.
Okay, that's also another one of those situations because, and the reason I had to say it was some kind of gray area now, bro, because some of these girls, bro, they look fucking grown. I've seen them be like, how in the fuck old are you? Oh, I'm 15. But when they talk, you could tell that they not grown.
Yeah.
So you can't sit up here and tell me that you couldn't figure that shit out. And like in the case of the one I brought up, the dude with the girl that said she was 19, I think that girl was like 16. Like, you was dating her. Like, the conversations that y'all had, how in the hell was she able to keep up with you when you a whole grown-ass man and she just a teenager? That was the part that I was kind of fuzzy about. But what I had to think about was her mama. Her mama gave her ass some game, so her mama was way older. She was telling her what to say and how to react to the shit. So you can be trained.
Yeah.
But for the most part, you can kind of tell how old a girl is by when she open her mouth. And another thing that I kind of figured out just on my own that I don't know if nobody ever noticed, then she carries a purse. Most of the time, the teenage girls don't carry purses. It's not 100% foolproof. But I mean, shit, neither is a license either because they can fake that shit. But most of the time, the mama is the one carrying the purse, and the girl don't have no purse. She either have a backpack or some shit like that. So if she got a backpack, that's already a red flag on me. She might be in college, but still, you know what I'm saying, my antennas is up either fucking way it goes. So, I don't know. As far as LT is, I mean, shit, as much shit as that nigga done went through, if they'd have threw that nigga under the jail, fuck it. And that nigga done done a whole bunch of dirt in his life. So, I really ain't got no sympathy for that nigga either. So, hey, I mean, it is what it is. But really the person that they shoot it through under the jail is the motherfucker that sent that young-ass girl over there.
Yeah.
They should have found out who was the one that was her pimp or whatever. That motherfucker should have went with the booty warrior. That's just how I feel about it.
Yeah, I can't stand that shit. Them pimping on them young hoes. That ain't what's happening. That shit ain't kosher at all. That shit wild.
It was two girls. It was.
It was 2 of them.
So two. Yeah, a friend should have went too.
Oh yeah.
Friend should have went to.
Yeah, he said it was 2. I guess it was 2 of them in cahoots with the whole situation. But that's a bet, man. Dizzle, man. You done fired us up, man. I'm still laughing about some of this shit, man. He said them directly in the chat, but I appreciate the call, man.
All right, man.
Already.
Peace, Dizzle.
Man, that Jay Dizzle had to fire him. What's the motherfucking deal? We got called into the den this evening.
Brother Shaolin, fantastic.
Shaolin, what's the motherfucking deal, Shaolin? What you want to drop in the den tonight, man?
Hey, you know me and the professor, we butted head a couple of times, but goddamn it, tonight, hey man, amen, brother. He preaches the goddamn gospel as far as I'm concerned. And when he touched on the part that when he really had me ready to put some money in the collection plate, is when he said all drugs should be legal. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, I'll take it a step further. There should be an allotted place somewhere like Wyoming or, you know, North, South Dakota, some shit like that. And they should just say, okay, all drug addicts come up here. Any drugs you want, I think that should be funded by the government. You come up here and die. You know, you come up here and just to your OD. Ain't gonna be no medical assistance. When you sitting there shaking on the ground and shit, you know, we just come pick you up and, you know, we'll put you in the ground somewhere or whatever, you know, let you be food for the wildlife up here or whatever, something like that. That's cool. That part right there, I was saying. As a matter of fact, I didn't hear anything he said tonight that I didn't agree with. Everything he said, I agreed with. As far as I'm concerned, it was the professor show tonight. As far as I'm concerned, I agree with all that shit. I agree with that shit. Fucking if you want to be on drugs, I think the government should supply that shit instead of supplying, you know, treatment. I mean, fuck it. If you want to get on drugs, now I do believe that we should let you know what the dangers of it, but that's about as far as we should go. And then after that, if you decide you want to go up to Wyoming or North Dakota and stay up there and get high, you know, get dead, cool. I think prostitution should be legal in certain areas. I think it should be legal. You know, all that. I'm down with him. Again, I didn't hear nothing he said. There was nothing wrong with what he said. Nothing. I didn't hear nothing. I didn't agree. I was over here like, where the collection plate at? To put some money in that joint.
Yeah, boy, J Dill's on fire, man. Man, that's an interesting concept, man, because that ODing and sending them kind of off to a far off spot. That's an interesting concept. I mean,
and let me tell you something, man. I could see a drug addict ODing, you know, shaking and quivering on the sidewalk, and I'll just step over him and I'll be like, well, you know, he made that decision. I didn't. Hey, you know, I called the coroner or the police, somebody come pick him up off the sidewalk, something like that. But hey, as far as I'm concerned, I didn't tell him to inject that heroin in his vein. I didn't tell him to do that. I mean, even it was a book. There was a pamphlet I read sometime, sometime back. They were talking about living the addiction with the drug addict. If you're complicit with that, you're living that addiction with them. Like if you're trying to help them out or you're trying to get them off drugs, fuck that. Fuck that. I mean, again, as far as I'm concerned, it's the professor show tonight. Yeah, and amen, brother. Amen, brother. And money in the collection plate, as far as I'm concerned.
Already, man. I appreciate the call there, brother Shaolin.
All right, brother. All right, brother.
Already. All right. Another call coming in. You made a very good point. I want to get to that. Make sure I jot that down. What's the motherfucking deal we got calling in on the Den line this evening?
Well, it's your boy Josh again, man.
Uh-oh. Josh, what's the motherfucking deal, man? What do you want to drop on the Den line tonight, man?
Well, first, I'm just gonna answer your topic, man, first, about the laws being changed. And I feel like it's just a whole lot of hypocrisy going on. I mean, like, you have weed being legal, but you have alcohol being legal until you're 21. But 9 times out of 10, motherfuckers been drinking alcohol since they was about 15, 16, low key. It's just when you're 21, you can't buy it. But yeah, people plugs that go and buy it anyway. So you might as well just make it the driving age pretty much, since people have already done it anyway. And that's what parents do. Parents are exposing kids to that at a younger age. So when they get to that 21, 22, I even see it now with most of the friends that I see, that it's always like, well, they don't even want to do it no more because they done it so much when they was young. So anyway, later on, to explain to Jay Dizzle, man, I'm from the same place you from the phone now, man. This bitch ass nigga, dog, I'd even fucking call in yet. This motherfucker want to come up here talking about some I talk low. Bitch, fuck you, fuck everybody you with. Cause I ain't gonna lie, I have a low ass voice when I came out, and I don't give a fuck what nobody say. So you can kiss my ass with that bullshit. Now I'm gonna hang up. Fuck this shit. Fuck Jay Dills, and I'm gone.
You said it sounded like hit him up over there. Hold on. What's the motherfucking deal we got calling into the Den this evening, man?
Thanks. What's going on, Honcho?
Well, what's happening, brother?
Man, I heard him talking.
I couldn't hear you there, brother.
Right. Oh man, I just got a question for you, Honcho. I watch all the time, man. Me and my wife.
Well, all right. What you want to drop in the Den there? What's the question? What do you got?
All right, man. All right, look. All right. So, why does a hooker make more money than a drug dealer?
I think I might know this, but I'm gonna let you tell. I'm gonna let you tell the people. Well, why does a hooker make more money than a drug dealer?
Because she can rewash the crack and sell it again.
Reduce, reuse, recycle, man.
Hey, Honcho, man, that's all I wanted to tell you, man.
Well, I appreciate your call.
Keep up the good work, brother.
I already appreciate the call, man.
All right, man.
Reduce, reuse, recycle that shit. Wash that shit off in the tub, or not in the tub. They in the whole bath. They don't take no whole bath in the tub. They hop in the sink. I don't understand how that shit work. They sprinkle a little splash, a little water on it, get it going. What's the motherfucking deal we got calling in to the Den this evening?
It's Edmund.
Edmund, what's the motherfucking deal, Edmund? What would you like to drop in the Den tonight?
So, I wanted to speak on you were talking about Terry Crews and how, he's with this Me Too movement. Besides his muscles, I think he's pretty, he's useless in the sense that he doesn't have that much talent. And so for him to speak on a situation that in my opinion, I think he's being mind controlled by, the Hollywood upper echelon, because most people in Hollywood are, mind controlled by people who, you know, sell their souls or stuff like that. My point is that, you know, besides Terry Crews being a sexy bastard, you know, he has no say in things like the Me Too movement and stuff like that. So those are my thoughts.
All right. Well, I appreciate the call there, Ed, man. Most of the call, about 94% of the call.
Wait, but what was wrong? I don't know what I said.
Oh, you know what you said, goddamn it, Ed, man. Ed man, you got to watch out for Ed man. Ed man know what he be up to, man. Ed man be with the talking trolls. But I peep your game. I peep your game there. But no, he did bring up a good point though when he said that Terry Crews, outside of being musclehead, has no real talent. And the thing that gets me the most about him is because he's trying to attack black men. He's throwing out this word toxic masculinity. Your whole career is based off of fucking the idea of toxic masculinity, because you play these roles and end up every role you end up playing, you end up being some type of soft ass dude, but you play on this role of toxic masculinity and then it's a facade. So what's the motherfucking deal? We got called into the den this evening.
Hey, Honcho.
What's going on? Hello, can you hear me?
Hey, man, hey, bro, it's Lyric Northside, man. They dared me to do it, and I had to, bro. I'm sorry.
It's all
I'm
good,
sorry, bro.
Nah, you good, man. You good.
All right.
Funny.
All right, man. Nah, man. I just want to let you know, man, I watch your stuff all the time, bro. And keep up the good work, man. Keep putting on for the H, bro.
Man, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate it. It was a good call, though, man. On the cool, though. It was funny.
All right, man.
Already, man.
All right, man.
That was funny.
That
was funny. I'm going around to
all right. So here's the deal. I know there's been a lot that's been said. There's been a lot of stuff that we have discussed, have gone over, have talked about. And I don't know if you need me to recall, recollect some of these things for you. If you got any particular topics you want to discuss.
I want to talk about the Ted Cruz thing.
Okay.
Because a lot of people seems to be, have their opinion on it, and that's fine. That's what makes this world go round. Everybody has their opinion on it. And I'm one of those that do agree with Jay Dizzle on this one. Look, I understand you talking about you got your acting career and stuff like that. But guess what? You made enough money now. I don't know your life situation. I know you got at least 6 kids or whatever. Fine. But if you get out of acting because you standing up for yourself, guess what? You can start a business, or you can use that money to go other ways. You know what I'm saying? To keep taking care of your family. Now, I do agree, because when I first heard about him he said he was sexually assaulted by somebody on a set. I was like, wait a minute, this big old muscle bound dude, who they let touch him? Who he let touch him? Or do anything crazy to him too? You know what I'm saying? Who did that? Why would he let them do that? I was like, I just don't believe that. I find it hard to believe. I'm not saying it ain't true. I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know. But I would just find that so hard to believe. Because I agree with Jay Dizzle. I would have just turned around and knocked him the fuck out with the dude touching me like that. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm teaching that to my daughter. Don't let nobody mess with you. You know what I'm saying?
Personal
so, and I'm
like
pretty he teaches his kids the same thing. So by you going around letting somebody do it, you kind of contradicting yourself. So I'm saying, and then your kids are looking up to you, and as this, and your wife too is looking up to you as this, you know what I'm saying, as this big giant protector. You know what I'm saying? This person that's ain't gonna let nothing happen to him or his family. But then you let somebody do that to you, and you sitting, and then you gonna sit here and cry foul. Then I agree with you. If he want to start talking crap about D.L. Hughley, guess what, dude? I would have something to say to you too, man. Look, I said it too when I first heard about it. First, I thought he was lying, because just like all these people that come out like with the Bill Cosby thing, I'm not gonna say them ladies was lying, but what took you so long to say something? That's my hope. What took you so long? If somebody got something to say, somebody did something to me that I improve of, I'm gonna knock their ass out. Then I'm gonna go right away. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or vice versa. Might say something right away, then knock their ass out. But either way, something's gonna get said right then and there. You know what I'm saying? It ain't gonna be years down the line. They'll come out and say, this person did this to me. You know what I'm saying? Hold up now. What you know? And I know people look at him like he's a big old dude. Don't get me wrong, but besides what he's a big dude or not, he can be average height, 6 feet, 180 pounds, whatever. He ain't got to be big and muscular. You still, man, you supposed to, you know, protect yourself. Don't let nobody mess with you. Just like, you know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure he tell his kids. Same thing.
I would hope he
So,
would.
you know, that's how I'm looking at it, because I'm starting to think, you know, I was starting to think, did this really happen? It's hard to believe. He didn't want to say anything. And I know he went in front of Congress or whoever that was, whatever group that was, he went on, because I saw it on TV, and he said, as a black man in this country, it's hard to, you know, to make a living and stuff like that.
You said something, though, and I ain't going to cut you off, but you said something about, because one, he already has enough fame, and you see people doing it all the time. What it is, he wants that easy movie role money. Because you have enough fame that if you start, I read an article in GQ about him before this shit had happened, and that's what I was kind of wondering about him then, because he's just in all kind of weird stuff. He was in the NFL apparently for a little bit, but you know, he's in the furniture and art and a bunch. And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with that, but you know, it just the exterior don't match the interior, and so you wonder about some things. But my thing is, one, and you start putting pieces of the puzzle together. I wouldn't be surprised if Cruz is down with the bullshit, the Hollywood bullshit. He was just mad because he was exposed in front of his wife. And that's what I think it is, because what would just give a motherfucker the audacity to walk up in front of you and your family and to pull some shenanigans like that if they didn't think you were cool with it, or they didn't think that, you know, they didn't heard somewhere that you, in one of these little Hollywood things, like that you wasn't just with the shit, just to basically to fondle you in front of your wife. Like, they would have, I had to believe that you was with you. Like, say he complicit, but that's what I say. I think that he was with you, because now you see how he's not ever directing it at the person who did it. It's directed at all the people who didn't come and support me. It's directed at all the people who didn't stand behind me. Because what they were hoping is that he was going to get this wave of black men to start supporting some shit that, you know, black men generally do not support. And that's that bullshit. And that's what he was hoping that was going to happen. But because it didn't happen, they couldn't utilize him in that movement in the way that he did. Now he's trying to, you know, call him out. But as soon as somebody says, well, should I slap you, and should I do all, like, and basically, like DL said, man, I didn't say what you said. I'm saying what I would do. So what are you mad about that for? Because obviously you didn't do that. You were the one that was in the situation, and you didn't do that. And even if you talking about, you know, people, well, if he'd have beat him down, you know, he'd have been in jail or whatever. How hard would it have been to just clear your space? Give me 50 feet. You could have got this motherfucker up off you. You know what I'm saying? Instead, you acting like you went to the teacher and told him. I mean, it would have been it'd have been easy to get a motherfucker up. I ain't say you got to beat the motherfucker down, because you know you can annihilate him. But I mean, just shit. You gonna give him a good decent hand check. You know what I'm saying? Make sure, you know, sit him on his ass real quick. Just let him know you ain't fucking around. You ain't even want to do that shit. You ain't finna go to jail for no shit for getting the motherfucker up off you. If what happens is what you said happened, no, you got witnesses and shit there. That shit ain't. Come on, man. Like I said, it's just, man, it ain't nobody buying into your bullshit. And what he's hoping is he gonna convert some motherfuckers. Like, you don't got followers like that. Niggas not rocking with you like that. Other people are rocking with you like that want to see the image of a large black man put into an effeminate position. That's who rocking with you, because that's what you sell. That's why I say with the toxic, he's hollering about what man use, again, only men who use toxic masculinity is basically speaking on what these feminists are saying, and, you know, in parody or something like that. But he's using it in the sense of it's a real thing. Masculinity is what made you what the fuck you are. And so the fact that you trying to turn on it, but then throw your fuck your career in it, because that's bad. You talking about, oh, I didn't want to lose my career. You obviously, I mean, masculinity is what you base your career on. You know what I'm saying? And so, I mean, I don't comprehend it. I don't get where the fuck he's trying to come. He don't even know where the fuck he's trying to come from. Like I said, Edman made a point. There's a lot of shit that goes on in Hollywood that we'll never have any idea about. And I don't want to ever have any idea about. And, you know, sometimes there's a hand in the puppet's back. And he probably getting put out there in a certain way to push a certain ideology, and then, well, we can use him as the face of the black man to get to join with this movement. But you see, anytime a man does try to get with one of the movements, they basically, it's like cannibalism. They turn on each other, because when you've seen a lot of the white dudes who tried to, you know, well, hey, I'm gonna stand with these feminists. Well, back in '95, one time you brushed up against my shoulder on set and you didn't apologize for it. You're you know, and they'll just start making up shit. And it's like, well, goddamn, you know, I'm trying to be I'm trying to push the, you know, the agenda, but now you accusing me, who was it, the what's his name, the fucking what's his name? Fucking the dude from Pineapple Express. Not DeFranco. Is it DeFranco? James DeFranco or something like that. He's getting accused by a bunch of people. You seeing that? I mean, just everybody from everywhere. The dude who was in the R. Kelly thing, and he trying to, he getting accused. So it's like, man, you better sit your ass in your own lane and quit trying to be with all these shenanigans and all this bullshit. When you start calling yourself an ally, they look for shit on you to try to turn against you and throw you under the bus too, so that way they can say even the ones who are trying to act like our friends or against us too. Hey man, it's a whole bunch of bullshit going on. That's why I say, man, I'm just not with it. So I'm not trying to be your ally. It's unfortunate. If it happened to anybody that I have a personal relationship with, then we're going to investigate and we're going to get to the bottom of the situation. But as far as me giving a fuck about trying to save the whole world, I can't do that because it's a lot of motherfuckers out there lying. There's a lot of motherfuckers out there stretching the truth. It's a lot of motherfuckers that just want some attention, so they fabricating stories hoping somebody will pay attention to them because otherwise nobody would acknowledge their existence. And so that's why I say I deal with the motherfuckers I know and some of the people I know. If I know that you a motherfucking liar, you be on some bullshit, guess what? Man, girl, shut your lying ass up because I don't believe nothing you talk. It is what it is because I can handle that situation head on. But it's just like I said, that's why I'm not with I'm not with anybody's movement. Like I'm not knocking anybody's movement, but I'm not with anybody's movement in the sense of we're trying to change. So because it's just too many different angles to come at shit, man. If I don't know what's really going on as 100%, I can't really rock with it. You know what I mean? So it just kind of is what it is.
I look at it like this here. If he's saying his family was there with him, his wife especially, then there's a witness. There's a witness. You know what I'm saying? So you could have, just like if it happened to his wife, I'm pretty sure he would have knocked that dude out. You know what I'm saying? So when you're saying these things, it's like you gotta now see Heidi. Now you the first one to bring up weave, so I want to hear your mouth later, Heidi. But when you bringing these things up, it's like you gotta think. You gotta think. Look, you a big ass dude.
Where we at? Okay, there you go.
But that's what I was saying, though. I'm not saying he's not telling the truth. No, I'm not saying none of that. I feel like you said, I find it a little bit suspect. Is all this really true? What he's saying, or is he adding something, or is he leaving something out, or whatever? Because like you just said, if you talking about he just walked up to you and grabbed you, like, oh, what up? Oh, you either was doing that stuff before in front of your family, now you embarrassed, or what? You know what I'm saying? Oh, I agree, man. I agree 100%. What was the other thing you talking about?
Let me see. They're talking about the Obama fake. I think the Obama fake is kind of where he tried to push that shit in Africa where he's talking about, embrace the homosexuality and all that shit. And they was like, man, fuck that shit. Get your ass up out of here. They were trying to run his ass up out of here. Look, you ain't real Kenyan. You Kenyan by proxy. Then get the fuck up out of here. Shit. They wasn't trying to hear that shit. Obama was trying, we're in Africa. We must embrace the homosexuality. Who? You? Not us. Something else. Something I wanted to bring up. And then that was mentioned because I don't think we touched on because when Mr. Shaolin basically said, if they want to go OD and, kill themselves off, let them do it. How do you feel about assisted suicide? I saw a thing that they want to say it was one of those countries, Denmark maybe. Now they said that they were basically allowed as young as 10 years old, but they've only had like 1 or 2 cases of it happening, where people have actually done it. But what do you think about that? I'm not saying the age range, but I'm just saying, do you think assisted suicide should be a thing? I mean, if somebody just doesn't want to be here anymore, should they be forced to continue living if they're dealing with an unbearable level of pain and they don't want to be peeled out all day, or if they don't want to be, strung up to a machine all day? If somebody just doesn't want to exist anymore, should they be allowed to end their lives with assistance or in a pain-free way if possible?
They basically already do that in the hospitals. Like, for example, if you just like what was that congressman that died, war veteran, I forgot his name. What was that?
Was that John McCain?
Yeah, John McCain. He basically said he didn't want no more treatment. That's kind of basically assisting him to die right there. They do that all the time. In the hospitals when you hooked up to the machines, they're keeping you going. And some of these people say, just too much of a burden on my family. Just go and pull the plug. That's assisted suicide right there, basically. I mean, I get where you're coming from. Don't get me wrong, but what I'm saying is we already do that here in this country. And am I for it? No, I can't play God. You know what I'm saying? I can't say I'm going to help you take your life or nothing like that. I can't do all that. That's just me personally. But I do agree with, I forgot who it was that said that, hey, you want to go and kill yourself? Yeah, go and go kill yourself. That's your business.
Hold on 1 second. We got a little call coming in. We're going to take this call real quick. All right, what's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling into the den this evening?
It's Edmund again.
Edmund. I gotta keep the finger on the trigger dealing with Edmund. Edmund, sometimes Edmund be on fire, sometimes Edmund be on some other shit. All right, what you want to drop in the den tonight, Edmund?
So what's your thoughts on the criminal system in America? And do you think that it's flawed? Because I see a lot of people that get minor charges or these alleged charges, and they get put in prison for, months and years. So, for small charges like possession of marijuana or drugs or something in that nature, like, do you think a lot of the criminal system is corrupt, and how would you fix that? Same goes to Man Up. Like, how would he fix the flawed criminal system? And do you think that there's some race involved in when it comes to arrest?
Okay. Very, very interesting question. All right, appreciate the question. We're gonna answer that, Ed, man. All right. Let's break this down. Race when it comes to arrest. I want to say yes and no. Okay. Yes and no is because, one, if you're not doing shit, and I'm not saying if you ain't doing shit, you ain't got to work, because trust me, I've been a motherfucker not doing shit and hanging out with some other motherfuckers who don't quite look like me, not doing shit, and been detained, and the other motherfuckers told to move on while I've got searched and all that. So that's why I say yes. Do I think every situation is like that? No, and I'm not letting anybody off the hook. But what I do believe, this is why I'm a firm believer in, and I know we talk about, fuck the police and all that shit, but I think we need more people from our actual communities to be police, because they understand how our community operates. They understand. So I think that if you had more, people from a certain neighborhood or whatever who grew up there, understand how it works, I think you'd have less situations. Some of that little nonchalant bullshit, they wouldn't be so eager to jump on that type of shit, like, cause there's a lot of young kids I've known, again, of different backgrounds, whatever, they get let go for little shit, okay, what is this? Look, hey man, give me this shit, get your ass up out of here. You know what I'm saying? Instead of get taken to jail, now you got a record, now you got all this other shit. I think you can tell when you're from a place who's really a bad apple, and I'm using this term for a reason, who's really a bad apple and who is just making a little bit of trouble, who just, probably in a situation they ass don't need to be in and need a fucking learning lesson. But you get some of these kids who get caught up on some dumb shit from a young ass age. And again, because, they hanging out, they trying to be cool or whatever the fuck it is, they trying to be, they in the wrong place, wrong time, whatever the fuck you want to call it. And sometimes they just need a little bump on the head, a little knock on the head. Hey, go get your ass right. They don't need to go through the whole system and then get caught in a situation. Because what happens with the system is, let's be honest, money talk, bullshit walk, man. If you got your money right, you're going to be all right. I mean, it's a lot of motherfuckers. I mean, unless you just a big name case, and again, if you got the right lawyers, you'll still end up beating. If you got the money for the right lawyers, if you got the money for the bail or situation, it's motherfuckers who will be in jail for a long time just because they can't afford some bail. I mean, on some petty shit, a couple of $100, so they sitting down for a long ass time until they can afford that. They don't have anybody to help them out, even on the outside. It's a lot of little hoe ass stories that you'd be surprised while motherfuckers are sitting down because they couldn't afford a paid lawyer. Because these fucking little what do they fucking call them? Court appointed lawyers, man. They work in 10, 15, 20 cases at a time. They come in, read your shit for 5 minutes, and say, okay, hey, we can do this or we can do that. What you want to do? And then they handle in 5. Oh, hey, you next. Your case is looking like this, and they don't care because they're getting paid by the court. So whether you get booked or whether you get set free, they don't give a shit. You know what I mean? They just trying to get their little money, either trying to get they practice established or whatever else the fuck it is. They don't give a shit, and so it's all about money, man. Like I talk about the situation when I was in, and I had to take some class. I had to do a bunch of. They had me in this whole special bullshit ass caseload, and one of the classes were these little drug classes where they make you take. It wasn't really like drug classes, but it was basically you had to go like twice. And man, they showed me love. When I was like, I caught in traffic, I almost ain't making it. I would have to do this shit all the way over. That's some whole ass shit. But they let me make it. But in there, and they broke it down. The lady who was teaching the class breaks it down. She just breaks it. She took it. It was maybe 15 to 18 people in the class, and so broke it down. Well, how much was your bail? And we're not even talking about, we're not necessarily talking about, what the total bail amount was, but how much you had to pay to get bailed out. So, it's 10%. So say if my bail was $50,000, then I got to come up with 5 racks to pay the bail bondsman to get up out of there. Who got, a lot of people just got 5,000 on hand. They say most Americans don't even have $1,000 in their bank account. You know what I mean? So sometimes people got to put up their house. They got to put up their vehicle. They got to put up different shit to be able to get out or be able to get a bail or whatever it is. But then you see, some motherfuckers come in with a pocket full of cash, and it is what it is. That's a whole different conversation. But but so we started talking about, we had to go by, everybody had to tally up how much their bail was, the actual amount, not the basically the 10% to pay the bail bondsman. So bam, we tallied that up. Then we had to go and tally up how much it cost to pay a lawyer, and you're talking about several thousand, depending on what kind of case you got. DUI case can easily run you $10,000. And I ain't got that, but I'm just saying. And so once we kind of tallied everything up, and we're talking about, it's like no more, 20 at the max. I don't even think it was 20 people, honestly. In this class, you're talking about 6 figures easily, almost by $250,000 in everything. That when you talk about restitution, you talk about court costs and the stuff that you're going to have to pay collectively, all of it wasn't paid right then, it's just, but when you added all that shit together, and again, some people had different cases. It was just a lot of different shit going on. But you think about, that's just 20 people. And again, I'm rounding up 20 people, damn near $250,000 of fines, fees, court costs, bail, lawyer fees, and you wonder why this system continues to rotate the way it's money. So if you got money, then you're not dealing with these problems. But if you struggling to make it and you can't afford this kind of stuff, then guess what? You up the motherfucking river. It ain't finna be none of this. Let's talk about your case. It's not gonna be any of this. Let's see what really happened here. It's gonna be what the cops put on their report. You're not gonna get to talk, because not once did I ever speak in front of a judge. Not once did I ever say anything. You know what I'm saying? The lawyer did all the talking, and when I had to sit there, it was either, I plead guilty, or I plead no contest, or I plead not guilty, or whatever else, and that's what it is. And then you sign some paperwork, you might not even talk to the judge, don't even have no half shit. You half the time you talk to the DA or assistant DA or whoever's in there. It's just, like I say, it's just going through the motions. And it's saying again, so do I think the system is corrupt? Yeah, because I think a lot of people just get washed under this bitch and never get a chance to really get seen for what it is. It's just, hey, this is what was on the paper. This is what they said about it. I don't even give a fuck. I don't want to hear your side of the story. They don't care. If you ain't got the money to have your side of the story heard, then shit, they don't give a fuck. You're going to take what they give you, and you're going, you can go on about your way. You're going to try to sit it out and hope that they give you a lesser case because the DA wants to have a certain percentage clearance rate because it looks good on their resume when they run for judge or when they run for, whatever else. Well, I had a 100% incarceration rate in my cases that I've tried, and that's why they offer these crazy ass plea deals. Well, look, we're going to either throw your ass, you either take this plea deal for, 3 or 4 years, or if you take this shit to trial, shit, we gonna run you 15, 20 years. What the fuck you gonna think you gonna do, man? You like, shit, I really ain't got this money. I didn't do the shit, but I don't have a lawyer to back me up, to pay lawyer. A court-appointed lawyer don't give a shit. I can risk trying to fight this shit with no backing and potentially face 20 years, or I could just take this 3 or 4 years. Hopefully I get out in half the time and go on about my life, not realizing that when I take this, the rest of my life is stamped with this fucking, this case on there, and I have to deal with this for the rest of my fucking life. So it's fucked up, man. Yeah, it's very fucked up. It's extremely fucked up, man. And so, yeah, there has to be change. There needs to be changes. But as long as the money keep rotating, as long as people keep eating, you talk about the prison pipeline, which was a real thing, because it was a judge who was sending these kids off to this little facility, and they wasn't even nothing wrong with them. Motherfuckers was tardy, or motherfuckers had like a little situation, like something that would not even be major, that probably all of us have done, and they were getting sent to jail, or like this little, basically like this little mini prison, but then they found out behind the scenes that jail or that place was paying that judge money to basically convict these. I want to say it was in Alabama somewhere. And so, yeah, man, it's a lot of fucked up shit. I would say, try to take money out the system, but that ain't gonna work, man. Because again, it's money. Money rules the motherfucking world, man. And if you ain't got done shit, you ain't doing shit. And so, I would say that it says easier said than done. But so I mean, the goal is at that point get you some money, man, so you can, you can do something with yourself. I know I went on a long ass spiel about that. You got something you want to add on that one, man? About y'all could tell it was a little bit of a personal question, but yeah, go ahead. What you got on that, man?
Well, I would say that that's kind of personal to me too, because like I said before in the stream we done, I got caught up in one of those kind of situations to where just because a friend did something and I'm with them, the law states if you're with someone, you're going down too. You might get a lesser sentence, but you're still going down. And I got caught up. So yes, I think the system does need to be changed, especially when there's evidence like it was in my situation, and well, the one thing that I do agree with, what I'm saying, our money speaks. That's why I say celebrities, they get off because money speaks. You know what I'm saying? Whether you think they did it or not, they get off because they got money, because of their stature. They, what I'm saying, whatever. But here's one thing that I think. Yes, I do think a little bit of racist plays into a lot of these situations, because there's still are times to where people goes to jail and then doing it. Because me and my wife was watching one time. I forgot the name of the show, but we were watching one in Mississippi. I know that to where this black guy was dating a white girl, and the white girl, before she died, people was asking who did this to her, and she was saying, I forgot the name that she was saying, but it was not nowhere near the name of her boyfriend. But because he's black, and he's in Mississippi, they were saying he did it. But everybody was like, no, he didn't, because she kept saying, for example, Man Up did it. I mean, they want to say, no, Honcho did it. Those two names don't even sound nowhere near alike. See what I'm saying? That was kind of the situation. I'm just giving an example. Those situations where names don't sound, but they want to say, no, he did it. The case proved it. But it was on record. It was recorded that that girl, before she passed, was saying this person did it. Somebody else had did it. Now, so I do think race does play a situation, and that guy ended up spending a little bit of time in jail. You know what I'm saying? All right, Heidi, yeah, I did it. But yeah, so that's what I mean by race do play a little bit of part into it.
Okay. Hold on one second. I want to cut you off. I see somebody with calling. I didn't put them on hold like a time or two. I'm gonna catch them real quick, and then we just probably be our last call for the evening. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling in on the Denline this evening?
Auf Weitersehen, Mika. Auf Weitersehen, Mika. Auf Weiter. Hallo.
All right. I don't even know what they were saying right there. I'm completely lost on that one. So there's that. But here's the deal. You were saying though, about the kind of mistaken identity, or the deliberate mistaken identity in that situation.
Yeah, it wasn't mistaken. They literally wanted to. But then that's why I say a race does play it. But then I also think the laws need to be changed a little bit, because, like, for example, like if you're driving down the street and you hit someone in the back, you automatically at fault. You know what I'm saying? You be driving behind me, Honcho, and I can just slam on my brakes. You're not going to stop in time. You're going to hit me. But it's going to be, you know what I'm saying? And here I am trying to, get some money out of it. You see what I'm saying? That's why I say the laws do need to be changed. They need to be tweaked a little bit. The wording of it, I guess you could say, it needs to be tweaked. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. So I know I'm giving crazy examples, but, I'm just giving an example. What I'm trying to say is that when it comes to these laws, I do think there need to be some kind of way to, change the way they are worded, change the way how they are executed and things like that, because you can have innocent people, suffer and have something on their record when they don't even deserve it. You see? So when people are saying these things, doing these things, my God, I'm looking at Heidi's comment there.
you can't fuck with the chat, whatever you be talking. Heidi will ruin you somehow, some way. She gonna find a way to infiltrate the conversation with some shenanigans.
Yes, I see CP3 sore hamstring. Anyway, but it's just that one of those things that you know we need to the laws need to be changed. For example, golly, there was one that happened in Texas a couple years ago. Oh, matter of fact, like what they call that? Golly, I can't think of the word right now. Where people just come, they don't. Golly. Well, anyway, where people just come live rent free without paying anything.
Like squatters.
There we go. That's the word I'm looking for. Like, for example, you know what I'm saying, I can go on vacation for a while. Somebody know that, come live in my house while I'm on vacation and come back. Oh, they live there now. How no? Fuck you gonna tell me somebody live in my house? You see what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That's a no. If your name ain't on this lease, this mortgage or whatever, how in the hell you gonna tell me you live here in my house? No. So, and that's what I'm saying. It's simple things like that needs to be changed. I can go on and on about a whole bunch of different things how I feel, you know, laws need to be changed. I know, like we were talking about earlier, well, the laws, you know, when people go into jails and things like that. I would say, like when people holler rape, I would say, I know it's going to ruffle a little bit of feathers, but I don't care. I would say you have to prove it. If somebody raped you, their DNA should be, you know, on you or in you or whatever. So things like that, you know what I'm saying? Because too many innocent people are going to jail or having their lives messed up in some kind of which way because of these crazy laws and how these laws are executed. Yeah. So I'm saying, so that's the reason why I'm putting it like that.
Yeah, and I think, man, and that's even just a sketchy one too, because you could have consensual, like I say, with the way a lot of these women are trying to frame things nowadays. And again, you hear a lot of it because it's the squeaky wheel gets greased. So it's not, I'm not going to sit here and say it's the overwhelming majority, but this mind frame is starting to infiltrate because people who feel like they're victims or feel like they've gotten fucked over in life, they hear somebody else saying, he's like, you know, if I'd have done that in that situation, it might have worked out better. And they start believing this bullshit. And so, you know, like I was talking about the other day, the whole, it could be consensual at the time, but if you think about it later and you felt like, you know, because you didn't enjoy it or you're upset because you didn't, you can call it rape. No, it doesn't work like that. Like at the time of fucking, if you consent to that shit, then it is what it is. You can't come back later. Well, that nigga was a 2-minute man. He raped me. Or I ain't get the bus. No, he right. Or you know, he ain't give me some money afterwards. You know, I was thinking I was gonna get paid, or he was gonna, you know, buy me something nice or buy me dinner. He bought me Arby's, and I wanted some motherfucking me Papados or something. You know, and you're gonna be mad about like whatever the fucking shit is. You can't like that type of shit. You can't engage, and that's why I say, man, niggas really got. It's a joke. It's a joke. I'm laughing, but I'm serious, man. The sex contract might be a real thing, and I mean, it might really be a real thing. The Denline is still up, but I didn't know if it was the crazy call coming back. I was trying to finish that last point, but we'll take one or two more calls and then get ready to wind.
Come on, ladies, call on in, ladies. I want to hear your opinion.
The ladies.
Yeah, I want on this one.
Okay, we got a call coming in. Let's see. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling into the den this evening?
Jay Dizzle once again.
Already, Professor Dizzle, what you want to drop on the Denline this evening, man?
Oh, I got some opinions on how we can improve this justice system. First and foremost, let's start with these punk ass police. And yeah, I call them punk ass police. Yeah, we need them motherfuckers. But a lot of these motherfuckers are some punk ass niggas. First of all, let's just start at the source. We need some damn common sense. Period. If a motherfucker call 911 and you say, 911, man, what's your emergency? There's a little girl down the street selling water in her front yard. And you ask the bitch, well, what's the emergency, man? Well, that's illegal, right? Yeah. So why the fuck is you calling 911 for that? I think there need to be some kind of charge for motherfuckers who call the police or other motherfuckers unnecessarily. When you wasting their damn time, you need to go to jail so you can think about your actions. Okay, now you going in you was trying to send somebody else there, so now you get to see how it feel to have your ass locked up. So you so quick to throw somebody else in jail, how about you have a taste of it?
Yeah.
That's number one. Number two, Honcho, you fucking nailed it. You did nail it. We need to have people from the where they live at policing them streets. Because the problem is now, you have a police, he'll be fucking patrolling in Port Arthur, but he live fucking in Needland somewhere. So he don't know. None of these people don't know the neighborhood. All he knows is when he looking at suspects every fucking well, as far as he concerned. I think there should be more people like, I know y'all seen him on Facebook. His name is Officer Norman. He talks to the kids, and through the kids, he gets to speak to the parents. So he knows the people in the neighborhood.
Is that the one that kind of be dancing and stuff?
Huh?
Is that the one that be dancing and stuff? Is it a white guy that dances and stuff?
I think he do dance too, okay. Especially with the children.
Yeah, I think I seen him. Okay.
Oh, and goddamn it, maybe lose my train of thought, huh? Shit.
You talking about Officer Norman, patrolling the neighborhood.
And it was another officer. Somebody in the neighborhood had called the police on two black boys because they was making too much noise. All they was doing was playing basketball in the street. I'm sure y'all heard about that. So the cop drove up, and instead of telling the boys to stop, he started playing basketball with them. So what ended up happening is the rest of the neighborhood boys start coming out, so it became a whole like neighborhood thing. So they all start playing it. Then eventually it went viral or something. It went like a video. They called, and the next thing you know, the next week Shaquille O'Neal pulled up, and he went to the same boys, the same neighborhood, and played with them. To me, that's the way it should be.
Exactly.
Because, and I look at it like this. This is what I was trying to think of. T.I. got a music video, and it's called I Believe. And he got like another little short kind of movie that's basically what the video is based on. And the situation that happened was, it was two dudes in the hood. One of them was like this track guy, and another one was this young dude. So they decided to race each other around the block. Well, the police saw the motherfuckers running, and you could pretty much know what happened from there. Yeah. One of them ended up getting killed. Well, they ended up saying that the shooting was justified. And then they said that the law officer shot him because he thought he had a gun. And then when the people in the hood said, well, they said he thought he had a gun, they're like, come on, man, this dude he ain't one of them dudes. Everybody in the neighborhood knew that he was a track star. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So he's not, a hood nigga. He's going to be the one that was going to make it up out the hood, you know what I'm saying, the way that we know him to make it up out the hood, either balling or writing lyrics or, signing a contract or some kind of way. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So because he didn't know this motherfucker, he didn't know what to expect. Now, if you doing the Officer Norman thing, and somebody call the police or somebody, be like, you know what? I know who that is. I know where he stay. Not only do I know where he stay, I know where his mama stay, I know where his sister stay, and I know what kind of person he is. If he a little bit thrown off, I know all that too. So when you see the dude, you don't automatically just go to going crazy. If you know the dude got some mental problems, you already had it in the back of your mind how to approach him. What you got to look out for when you know these people is different. And also, I also call the way that the system set up is cowardly too, because it's different. You would be a whole lot less confrontational with the officer if you knew the motherfucker. Yeah. If you knew he stayed down the street from your baby mama house, that's where him and his family stay. You know what I'm saying? So you know him. He knows you. So if he pulls you over, he already knows who you are and what you about. So that'll pull a lot of that stress and shit away from that whole situation. And in my opinion, I don't think there should be no traffic cops at all. No traffic cops. All that shit should be controlled by cameras and all that old shit. We got all this technology. There ain't no reason that we need human people out there watching people wreck up and tear up shit in their cars. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times you can go to the scene of the accident, you can pretty much tell what happened by tire marks and all that old shit, positions of the vehicles and all that old shit. And you can't tell me that you don't see the waste of our taxpaying money all the time. How many times you driving down the interstate and you see two big-ass Chevy Tahoes parked opposite ways? They just sitting there burning up gas, not doing shit. Just sitting there running their mouth when it's a whole bunch of crime in your motherfucking city. Motherfuckers getting shot, stabbed, like Heidi say, raped every day. They could be out there fighting that instead of sitting in the middle of the highway doing fucking nothing, but making people tap on their brakes and drive slow as fuck in the slow lane. Y'all know what the fuck I'm talking about. They need to have their ass in the city limits doing what the fuck they need to do instead of out here in the big gas guzzling ass Tahoes doing nothing but sitting back, eating some hot fries and chilling. That's some bullshit. Because I can't do that shit on my job. I'm paying you motherfucking salary. Y'all need to get y'all ass out there and go do some goddamn work. That's just how I feel about it.
Already, man. I agree. But I got a question for you, because you know how it is. I know where you from, and I'm from a similar area, and I used to be in Port Arthur from time to time, and we're just talking about the hood period though. So does that mean we have to start changing the conversation about the police in the hood to get more people from these neighborhoods to consider that as an option? I mean, how do you think that we would have to go about encouraging? Because when all the music talking about fuck the police and fuck them and fuck, it makes me think of this video what old buddy put out. It was a black dude, and he was talking about he's like, yeah, y'all always talking about fuck the police. Nah, man, fuck you, because you always want to call me when Lil Ray get to tripping in the house. He off that wet, and you need somebody to come calm him down and stuff. But y'all don't think about that. And he was being funny, but he made a little thing. But honey, what do you think that we would have to do to change that conversation?
Well, that's the whole thing. It's a lack of respect. Mm-hmm. The police feel like the people don't respect them and their authority, and the people feel like the police don't respect them and their rights. So it's a confrontation of respect. Everybody feeling like that they owe a certain amount of respect for just being them or whatever their position is, and they don't feel they're getting. So the police officer abuse their power to make sure that they get their respect that they feel that they deserve. And the people, of course, is going to fight back. Now here's the deal. If the police act like they got ears, they would do a whole lot better, because they don't listen to nobody. What they want to do is they want to arrest everybody and then want to talk to them.
Yeah.
Why can't you talk to them? You can't have a conversation? You sitting up here with a gun. You got the lethal weapon. I'm standing here in some Dickies, some Jordans, and a wife beater. What the fuck am I going to do, bro? You can't sit up here and have a conversation with me, because I can't tell you how many times that there's a whole crowd of people telling a police officer something, and he don't listen to nothing of what they say. But you know what they do listen to? They listen to the claim of the person that called the police. So if a motherfucker, if your wife beat the dog shit out of you, then slam, did that what is it, a thin line shit, wrapped that orange in that stocking and hit herself in the face. You know what I'm saying? She called the police on you. They pull up. They're automatically seeing that you the guilty party because of what was said before. Instead of just saying, okay, were you the one that called, ma'am? Yes. Okay, well, you tell me what happened. We'll talk this shit through, then I'll make a decision from there. No, they don't do that. They go to arrest the motherfuckers, bringing everybody down to the station, and then trying to figure it out after the fact. Well, you could have figured it out from the way before that, and just, saved yourself a lot of time, and then went on to the next person with the next issue. I think police just use their own fucking common sense. If you break into the wrong fucking house and you see some old couple in there, and it's supposed to be some drug dealers with guns and shit, and you see an old man and an old woman, don't you think common sense like, wait a minute, something ain't right here. These can't be the perpetrators. So why in the hell is you gonna go get them, throw them to the ground, slam them on their backs, and handcuff them and shit, treat them all rough? The old man ended up fucking dying. I don't remember when this story popped out, but the old man ended up dying because the cops had broke into the wrong house, raided the wrong house. It was the house that was down the block, not this house. And so when they heard about that house getting raided in, them motherfuckers took all the drugs and dope, and they got the fuck away. And now this old couple, this old lady, is without her husband because these motherfuckers didn't have enough common sense to double check the fucking address.
Man, that's crazy.
If people don't have no sense, bro. They act like they don't understand and don't compute anything. Another situation when the Houston Texans, that guy that played for the Texans that time, I can't remember exactly what his name is. He was driving real fast. He was speeding, okay, and the cop was trying to pull him over, but he had his flashers on. What was happening was it was him and his wife that was in the car, and her mom, his wife's mom, was at the hospital. She'd been in the hospital for a while, and they was telling him to come quick because she not gonna make it much longer. Come up here and come say your goodbye. So he was rushing to the fucking hospital like any motherfucker would, right? So the cop, you know, is trying to pull him over, and he keeps sticking his arm out the window, waving the cop forward, trying to talk to him. So the cop pull up next to him, and so he's steadily trying to tell the cop is screaming on the fucking megaphone, pull over, pull over, pull over. So the dude don't pull over. He drives straight to the fucking hospital and parks in the parking lot. So, of course, the cop jump out, guns drawn, here come back up, all this old shit. The lady, which is his wife, was trying to get out and go in the hospital so she could be with her mom in her last final moment. And the motherfucking cops wouldn't let her go. So what ended up happening, the fucking people from the hospital saw what was going on. They came, ran outside, and they all trying to tell the cop exactly what was going on. All the cop was thinking, I'm arresting this dude because he wouldn't stop when I told him to stop. But he wasn't listening to nothing else. So what ended up happening, the wife just said, fuck it, you're going to have to come in here and arrest me. So she ran into the hospital to go be with her mom, and the dude didn't even get a chance to go say goodbye to his mother-in-law. Then I think after all the shit was said and done, after all the shit was filed and everything, the cop ended up retiring early or some shit. And all he had to do was close his fucking mouth, make his brain stop functioning, and listen. Just listening to what the people were saying. If somebody's telling you there's an emergency, you should be blocking traffic so they can get on, bro. Yeah. That's what you're supposed to do. You're here to help the people. You're supposed to be protecting and serving. But it seems like the officers of today don't protect and serve nobody but themselves. They don't give a fuck about the people. They only care about the other people who wearing the badge and the motherfuckers that's with them and the people that's in the law community or whatever. Just common sense. It's a lack of common sense and a lack of respect on both sides. Because you know what's a lot of motherfuckers who talk to cops straight up reckless.
Man, I know I used
straight
to
up reckless. And I mean, come on, bro. You're not going to mean the dude got party.
Man. Oh, man. I don't know if it cut off, if it was on my end or if it, let me see something here.
He made a good point. I remember that situation happened. I remember that exactly too. I heard about that and I was like, "Whoa, what the?" Yeah, and the dude was saying everybody was trying to tell the cop. I remember that exactly. And yeah, you know, he's right. He's 100% right. You know, if you take the time, you listen, or you just use common sense at the moment, you know what I'm saying? You'll figure a whole lot of things out right away. Yeah, and I say the same thing when he's talking about the little girl selling bottled water. I would say the same thing about the little boy cutting grass. What in the hell is somebody doing with a little 8, 9-year-old? I think that's how it was. Yeah. A little boy cutting grass. Now I laughed at the fact that he called himself Mr. whatever his name was, yard service. Yeah. I laughed at that.
So we're gonna take this call real quick and see if the D is trying to call back in. What's the motherfucker deal we got calling into the den this evening?
It's Edmund again.
Ah, damn it! I was hoping it was Jay. This is goddamn it. It's goddamn it, Edmund. What do you want? What you want to drop in the den, Edmund?
So I don't know if you saw the news today about, you know, the 5 cops that were shot.
No, I saw somebody mention it in the sauce, but I did not catch the details of it myself. Like I said, I saw somebody. I think Broderick might have been one that was dropping the sauce at 5 cops that got shot, but I didn't see the details. I wasn't sure about what had happened exactly.
Yeah, but you know, the guys that, you know, the suspects that died or that, you know, were shot and killed, they were selling narcotics. So do you think, you know, I know Jay Dizzle was speaking a lot on the flaws in the police, not just in Houston, but across the country. Do you think that cops also have like a reason to be fearful of, you know, because of situations like this where their lives are at risk? And he also, I don't know if you heard of Fertitta, he funded a new police academy or something. It was I saw it on Twitter. He donated like $10 million for infrastructure to train police. So, you know, I think there's a lot of things that are being done But I agree that just a lot of flaws, and not just in the criminal system, but with police as well.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look more into that story and kind of get some more details about it. But I'm gonna speak on what you said, because you brought up something that's something I want to mention, but I think Man Up has something to say. So we're gonna hang up on you, but we're gonna talk about it.
I'll be hardy.
Yeah, man. We go back that it. What you sound like you had something you wanted to say there, Mr. Man Up.
No, he did not say that. But anyway, yeah, I wanted to say this here. He was talking about should we do something to protect the cops and stuff like that when certain situations. Well, of course, protect everybody's life, of course. But like Jay Dizzle just said, use common sense. When you go into a certain situation, common sense should automatically kick in. Should, keyword there, I'm putting quote, should kick in. Like he just said, you go and break into this house because you think it's a drug deal, so you trying to, bust into these people's house, and you see it's old people. Common sense be like, no. This shouldn't be them. At least I would highly doubt it if it was them. I'll put it like that. So, yeah, I did. Like he said, too, it's just common sense. And I say that a lot, too. Think. Yeah, I know sometimes we might be in the heat of the moment, saying we don't use our brain, but that's what it's there for. Use it. Should you be sitting there talking about protecting police? I would say we should be sitting there talking about protecting all of us, everybody, people that's not even police, people that's not even in the government. And about for Tito, I can never say that man's name right. But anyway, the owner of the Rockets, put it like that. By him, so the police, so what? That's his business. I don't have an opinion on that. That's it. That's what he want to do. That's what he want to do. Guess what? Every company supports something that somebody's going to think is crazy. Just that's how it goes. So if you want to support them and buy them extra training and put an academy and stuff like that, go right ahead. That's what he want to do. Okay. But I look at it like this here. This is my point. This is just how I'm looking at this. If you got overwhelming evidence, because I've seen it plenty of times before where women, like he said about that damn movie, the woman beating herself and stuff.
Yeah, Thin Line. Yeah.
Yeah, Thin Line. Yeah, you could say that might be a problem. If you see the marks on her, you would automatically think she got beat up. Yeah, you could think that. I ain't gonna lie, I would think that. You know what I'm saying? If I just all of a sudden seen the bruises and stuff on her and say that, yeah, he hit me. Yeah, I would think that too. I'm not, can't nobody say they wouldn't. But if you know certain situations and if someone keeps calmly and telling you this stuff is going on, you should take note and be like, okay, well, these people have said these things before about that person. What the hell? Things like that. So at the end of the day, I look at it like this. Use your common sense. That's what you got to brain. I said this before in the previous day. Use your brain. It's the most powerful thing you'll ever own. Your brain. Use it.
And my thing is what he mentioned about the police, and I'm gonna be as honest as I can be and with clarity. When I was younger, man, trust me, I was a bit more hard-headed. I went to I told y'all about the situation in Galveston. Just really, I probably would have avoided that had I would have shut the fuck up. But I was young. I was dieseled in. You know what I'm saying? So I was running my mouth. Telling the nigga to take his badge off so I could whoop his ass. All that other shit. Just talking real crazy. Because they was fucking with us. We was on spring break. They tried to accuse us of a whole bunch of bullshit. Motherfucker came out of the bathroom with a fucking ounce of weed that nobody had. Because if somebody did have that shit, I was mad because I was trying to smoke some of niggas. If y'all was holding out, I'm mad. But ain't nobody had no weed. They come out of with a mysterious bag of weed and talk about. I was in the car. They come. Talking about the first thing they say when they pump up on my car, where the weed at? I'm like, man, fuck you. Ain't nobody got no goddamn. Trust me, I was a little bit more raucous with the conversation. And so I do agree about, the respect and things like that. It does go both ways. Now, I go forward and I look at a situation that happened, like I said, when I got caught up in that shit, trust me. Easy situation. This is, I'm talking about, I've been drew down on a couple of times. I've done some off the wall shit. I saw something the other day that really made me think about it, that I was thinking about the time I really could have got my ass shot. We got pulled over on the side of I-10, And you know, I was on the phone. Like, I mean, the motherfucker trying to pat me. I'm just talking on the phone. I'm in a sense being very disrespectful. And, you know, he trying to check my pocket. I started just pulling shit out my pockets all fast. I had a brush and some other shit. And, you know, the motherfucker got nervous and all that other shit, you know, but it wasn't nothing major. But I'm thinking about a video I saw yesterday. And again, this is not to knock. I'm on the same accord with basically what I think Baker Man said earlier. You know what you sign up for when you do the job. It's the same way they'll say about anybody. If you know what you were doing when you did that. Well, they know what they were doing when they signed up for the job. They got a certain level of training that told them what was going to be a part of the job. If they didn't want to be involved in that, you have the right to quit and not do that shit. Nobody's forcing you to do that. Just like I say, you know, other situations where people say, well, nobody's forcing them to sell dope or anything. Okay, nobody's forcing anybody to be a cop too. It's a dangerous job. Anything you play, what you choose to do in life is you know, a result. The outcome is a result of your choices. But it's a dangerous job. Yeah, I mean, you putting yourself on the front line. It can be tough to make certain decisions. I seen a video yesterday, and it was a dude. My old lady had sent it to me. And he basically talking to the dude talking casual, you really couldn't tell and all that other shit. Hey man, he's like, hey man, I'm gonna need you to walk over here with me. Just, you know, we're having a simple conversation. And he said, hey man, you know, if you don't mind, you know, take your hands out your pocket for me, because you know you got your hands in your pocket. And I mean, in the blink of a second, old buddy drew down on him, and the cop lit him up. I mean, he lit him up quick. I mean, his reactions had to be quick and spontaneous because old buddy was about to shoot him. Old buddy had a pistol on him. He was going to try to lay him down. Like, I don't know what he was thinking. I don't know what he had going on. But again, like I say, in a split second, you know, you got to go from trying to be copacetic with the situation, and then, you know, it could have become a life-threatening moment, you know, that quickly. And again, it happens all the time. You know, I've seen some little videos where motherfuckers trying to do a routine traffic stop. You know, they walk up to the car and motherfuckers start unloading on them and shit like that. I mean, it is what it is. I told y'all about a story. We'll just call it Mrs. Officer. But, you know, I chopped it up with her a couple of times on some shit. And she was just talking about some shit, some very interesting things. But again, from an inside perspective of the police, and, you know, it's a lot of shady shit that they do. And they know that they be doing shady shit because, like I say, this was some intimate knowledge, if you will. And so, you know, so I know that they do fucked up shit. And they just like motherfuckers in the hood, but, you know, they know they can get away with it. But at the same time, you know, you feel bad for anybody who loses their life, but at the same time, I'm not, you know, like I say, I'm not saying I'm not a bootlicker, and I'm not saying I hate them. It just is what it is. These are results of the choices that they made. It's unfortunate that it happens, but like, what's his name say, people die every day, B. Niggas get shot every day, B. On their paid in full shit. And so, you know, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. What, let me check the messages. Hold on, let me see where I'm at.
And that's the part I'm talking about too. You know what I'm saying? When the airman talking about what can we do to protect the cops? I mean, not airman. I'm sorry. I forgot who it was that called in talking about.
Airman.
It was okay. Well, here's the thing. Like you just said, we all know what we get ourselves into. Like I don't want to. I'm saying hit nobody living life. I really don't. But I don't even know how to phrase that. But I'm just gonna put it like this here. I'm just gonna put it like this. At the end of the day, the cops gotta protect themselves too. You know, but in an instant, you know, things can happen in a split second. I mean, a split second. And in an instant, I know they got to make split decisions. Excuse me. They got to make split decisions. Sometimes it might be the wrong decision. Sometimes it might be the right decision. But here's the thing. At the end of the day, because like I said, with my situation, and I have other situations as well too. But at the end of the day, my situation, and it wasn't a police officer that stopped me coming leaving out of Walmart. It was security. Walmart security, like that. Saw the video, showed me the video, and gonna say just because we walked in together, and was walking out together, that was something that we planned. But here's the deal, though. What did I do? So it's one of those type of things to where, yeah, common sense got to come into play. Got to say, okay, well, this person didn't do anything, but this person did, and then like Jay Zizzle was talking about that dude that was flying down the street to the hospital, ex-Texan that flew down the street going to the hospital. I would have said to myself if I was that cop, okay, he's not pulling over But when he finally pulls over, he's in the hospital. And then let's just say it might not register then at that moment. Then here come all the employees, the doctors and nurses coming out telling what's going on. And then the wife, the girlfriend or the wife or the ex-texting is come tell them, no, my mom's in the hospital, blah, blah, blah. That would have said, okay, gotcha. Let's not waste it. So I just look at that here, it's kind of hard. I would say, at the end of the day, just sometimes it's gonna be one of those split decision type things that it's gonna make you react, and sometimes might be the wrong decision. But at the end of the day, too, like I agree with Dills and say too as well too. When you finally realize something, you see something, and you get out of that moment, because you see cops all the time. They sit at a red light, they'll flash their lights real quick just to run that red light, then turn these lights off. You know what I'm saying? And now we ran the red light, we'll get a ticket. You know what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? And then they'll pull you over if you on your phone texting while driving, but they be on, basically texting while driving as well too. See what I'm saying? So yeah, there are some situations to where you need to be more fair with this, but then there are also some situations to where you gotta use your common sense. So if that makes sense with how I'm putting it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I just recently realized something. I guess I see where you was sending a message there, Jason, but I don't know if this line is letting me accept the picture messages there. So yeah, look, that's somebody said some sauce related stuff. I don't even want to look at that. I'm telling you, we ain't even finna get in that conversation. But yeah, man, I saw a video just not yesterday, but last week of a cop. He texting and driving, ran over a man standing on the side of the road with his camera. Or no, he was sitting on his bike with his camera and trying to get it adjusted. I guess he was wearing a little GoPro or some shit like that. And motherfucker ran dead into him. Like, I mean, he's in the middle of the road, like where you can see him. It wasn't like he was in the middle of the lane, but he was on kind of his side of the road. But it was obvious that you would have seen it. But he was in there texting. And he's like, man, he got it all on tape. Cop hopped out and tried to, But the thing is, they're human beings just like we are. But my deal is this: if you're going to assign yourself a position, or I want to protect the people, or I want to be this, then you should be held to a higher standard. And that's just kind of how I feel about it. It's not no hate or nothing, but if you're going to accept a role where you get a certain level of, you want a certain level of respect and treatment, cops are viewed as heroes or whatever, then I think that you should be held also to a greater standard. I feel the same thing with politicians. If you're going to assume this role to be above the people, I speak for the people, I lead the people, I do whatever, then you should also be held to a higher standard. And that's just the way I look at a lot of this shit. And I think people have so much praise for certain types of people, certain careers, occupations, or whatever. They lose sense of that they're human beings too, and that they're supposed to be, they're more forgiving of these people in these positions than they are of saying, okay, well, this person made a bad decision that they should have reflected. All right, this is going to be the last call. We're going to take it. We're going to get ready to wrap it up after this. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling in to the den this evening?
Hallo, Honcho. Admits IBC German. Be am here to talk on C payment for flexi time. My favorite time for flexi time is 9. Payment for Suküsuk und Wiener Schnitzel zu und legal. Auf Wiedersehen mit Alef U. Edman.
I think that is solid. The call of the evening. That
thing say Heidi German? Did I hear that right?
Yeah, it was talking about some German things and activities. No, it was just. I mean, I was checking. You can because the old numbers work still for a couple of more days. If you want to send it to the old number, if you still got it, I got to check that out and see why this number isn't taking the picture call. So if you want to shoot those messages, I want to check them out and see. But for some reason, it's not pulling up on this one. But again, like I said, I don't, because I mean, I'm to the point where I don't hate anybody. Again, you got a job to do. I remember when they drew down on me the times they've done some old, deliberately biased activities. I done been with a Hispanic partner, a white partner. We going somewhere and they shoot him on, and what you got going on, what you doing? What the fuck you stopping me? Why why are we not all doing the same shit? So what about me? Again, but like I said, I don't label everybody is what it is, because at the same time, I've met some cool motherfuckers. I've had some conversation with cool motherfuckers, and it was one I was helping somebody run a campaign, and he was running in a campaign for I want to say he was running for constable, or he wasn't running for sheriff. I want to say he was running for a constable or something like that. And so I was helping him out with some stuff as far as some, behind the scenes little shit. And, actually got a chance to kind of just chop it up with him. And, he just would share some stories. He was a white guy, and he was married to a black woman. He would talk about how he would go to work, and, it'd be all kind of racist shit, put in his locker, nigga lover, and, all kind of off the wall shit that it would be. So that lets me know that, and he was straight up. He's like, yeah, it's like that. There is a lot of that in the force, but then there are good people, it's just that's trying to do the right thing, that are trying to get that out of there, but it's difficult, And so again, that's why I say, man, I don't really label anybody of anything. We speak in generalizations. It is what it is. But, when I say these things, I do keep in mind, of course, there's good and bad of every type of person, so I'm not, like, even though I'm saying one thing in particular, I'm always thinking about, the ramifications shit. The old Denline number. Let me see. What was the old Denline number? Let me see. I remember 1336D, and that's all I remember from that motherfucker. 281-901-1336. If you want to send a text message to that. But yeah, so, but
I thought it was 832.
Was it 832? No,
I think it was.
Let me see. Let me pull up the thing.
And now you got me want to go look at some old dens to look to.
281. The old den is 281-901-1336. The old sauce line is like 832 something. 832 something drip. I forgot. 936 drip, something like that. I don't know. Too many goddamn phone numbers. But so like I say, man, I just want to say it was a pretty good conversation this evening, and I enjoy what everybody brought to the table, the calls, the commentary. I saw somebody new come in, and I meant to speak out to them, but I forget what somebody. I don't know if they're still here. I want to say the name was Tam, something like that. So if you're still in the mix, good to have you. If not, well, sorry I missed you. But again, man, I think say Heidi finally called in. But I think, like I say, I think there's just a lot of angles to it, man. And so I think that, and the reason why I look at it like that, because I know some people, fuck all the cops and all that, and I know other people are feeling it. But when you over label people, you miss out on important things, and I feel like you might miss that good interaction that you need, or you might miss that conversation that changes your perspective in life. And sometimes, that's why I try not to, again, I speak in generals, but I try not to view everybody like that. Man, some real good calls, man. Like I say, just real good calls. Man, you got anything you want to say before we get ready to slide up out of here?
Hey man, this one was pretty good. This one better than I thought it was. I appreciate all the calls and stuff. I just wish some ladies would have called in, but get their perspective on things too. We want to hear y'all opinion too. Y'all say we be bashing, y'all call and speak your opinion, speak your mind. Put something in the chat, whatever. But I appreciate it. Once again, Honcho, really mean that. And I just want to say, yeah, you keep putting out them good videos, man. You keep bringing them the good topic. Keep spilling your opinions on everything, man. Keep it up, man. Don't let nobody stop you. And like I said before, man, I wanted to kind of end this on a good note. Because I know this one was a kind of a serious topic. I want to try to end it on a good one here. Just want to say, yesterday was my little one's 9th birthday, and she just had a ball all weekend. Just made her go to bed now. But she had a ball, man.
Well, that's what's up. That's what's happening. Well, a happy belated birthday from the friends in the den. You know what I mean? And I saw those bills what you sent there, and I agree with everything you just you said there. The pictures that you sent there, Jay Dizzle. Like I said, it might be another conference. That honestly, the whole law enforcement situation, I think that just speaking on that could be a whole den conversation. So there may be something to further discuss in future dens. And there's still a couple other things that I didn't get to. I jotted down a couple of notes, but some of the calls got real good, so we didn't get to those. So I mean, this is something that we may bring up again in the future. But I just want to say, man, shout out to everybody who called in. Shout out to everybody who just participated in the conversation. And man, I think it is. I think it is. I think it was a good show. I think it was a real good show, man. So appreciate you, man, for coming through. Like I said, every time you come through, man, it's always a good show. So it never fails. And again, shout out to everybody, all the friends in the den. Look, hey, I'm telling y'all, look, go out. We're trying to grow this thing, but we're trying to grow it the right way, the low key way. I'm concerned that somebody came and said they found on the Explore page. Oh shit, they gonna start exploring. But tell a friend, man. Tell a friend about the den. You know, if you have a friend that engages in good conversation, if they like conversations like these, man, tell them slide in the den and see what it's all about. But with that being said, I appreciate each and every one of y'all. Don't tell Kenneth nothing. I'm gonna call Kenneth's mama tonight and tell her to make sure he start going to bed before the den, so we ain't got to worry about that shit. But with that being said, man, I appreciate y'all. We'll be back at it tomorrow, 10 o'clock. With that being said, y'all be cool like y'all be cool. But most of all, hey, we all friends in the den. Whether we agree, whether we disagree, it's all about having a civil discussion. It may get a little aggressive, may get a little intense, but hey, it's all good. It's all for the better. And we out.